a way to get a feel for how he makes his decisions.
All right. Well, based on that, so you did it before. You did it before the first inauguration. You did it recently. So I want to ask you two questions. First one first. Give me your, if you will, psychoanalysis. I mean, you, based on what you were looking for, what you obviously saw, maybe different than the other journalists in attendance because of your background. What do you come away with? To diagnose him as best you can, if I may.
Well, I forswore psychiatric diagnosis on the day I became a journalist. I tell people I'm a retired, actually I still am licensed, but I'm actually a psychiatrist in remission, and I haven't had a relapse in 25 years, so I'm going to stay on the good side of that. And I must say, I have never gotten any deep insights into any politician or public figure because of my psychiatric training. Psychiatric training equips me to diagnose somebody suffering from schizophrenia. It took me about an hour to figure out that Jared Loughner, the guy who, the Tucson shooter, was a paranoid schizophrenic at a time when the New York Times and all the media were talking about him being influenced by Sarah Palin, the climate of hate, by the Tea Party. I mean, all this complete nonsense when the guy was clearly a psychotic. So the only time my psychiatric training is useful is in being able to debunk these ridiculous theories in applying to people like a mass murderer, to whom people would love to attribute political motives, particularly right-wing, of course.
Of course.
Which can be debunked in 20 seconds.
All right, so let me ask the second question, which maybe will be a little easier and fairer and easier for you to address. I heard on that show yesterday that you were fooled by him the first time. You weren't aware of who he was, as I think is how it was put. Maybe I'm misstating it. So tell me the difference between the first meeting, how you went into it, how you came out of it, and how you went into and came out of the second meeting. I mean, after 5 years, how has your view of him changed?
Well, I don't know where you got the idea that I said I was fooled by him. I think there are talk radio hosts who have been saying that this morning, but they ought to listen to what I said. I said nothing of the sort. I said that when Obama was elected, it was not clear whether he was a centrist Democrat who would throw a bone to the left, or if he was a man of the left who would occasionally throw a bone to the center. And there was no way to know from the policies he enunciated while running for election in 2008 which way he went. And I didn't. And what I was trying to explain is that even after 3 hours of policy discussion, both myself and my colleagues had no better idea after, which was a way of saying how well he could disguise his beliefs. What I did say in the documentary that was on Fox, what I do say in the book, is that it didn't take long to figure out his political ideology because he made his first address to the joint session of Congress 1 month later, February 24, 2009. He laid out a radical political agenda, which I wrote about 5 weeks of columns in a row, calling him a European-style social democrat, far outside the mainstream of liberalism. So I've had no illusions about Barack Obama from the beginning. The point I was making is that he was trying to disguise his political ideology and how far left he was when he ran in 2008, but he let down the mask as soon as he was elected. And I was the first to actually identify the core of his policies. He's a man who believes in ultimately the leveling of the social classes. And I've made that the theme of my writing about him ever since.
So those radio talk show hosts, and I know Rush was one of them, they're wrong.
I don't listen to what they have said. I have no idea.
Right.
I've been working today.
Okay.
But if that is what they said, and I'm assuming that's where you got it from, because it's not what I said on the documentary or have ever written. If that is what they said, it's totally wrong. And whether it's deliberately so or not, I don't know. But all you have to do is to listen to what I said in the documentary. I never said I was fooled by him. On the eve of the election, I wrote a very, very strong editorial column saying that I was going to support John McCain, as I had, would go down with the ship, unlike a lot of conservatives who went over to Obama at the last minute.
Charles, can you stay another segment? We have a hard break. I'd love to talk to you more about the book.
Okay?
Okay, thank you. Charles Krauthammer, ladies and gentlemen, the author of Things That Matter, 3 decades of passions, pastimes, and politics. It's #1 on Amazon. I'm not going to let the #1 author in the country right now go. We got him another segment right here. When we come back on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio. Don't go away.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Hi, this is Dick Morris. Obamacare is taking full effect this year with over 15,000 pages of regulations. You need to know how this law affects you. That's why you should get your copy of Obamacare's Survival Guide. It's easy to read and the best guide to the new law. Even if you're currently insured or a senior on Medicare or a business owner, a medical professional, or really any citizen, you need the Obamacare Survival Guide. In it, you'll find about hidden taxes, fees, and fines, including a 40% tax on some health plans. I warned you about Obamacare. It's rationing, Medicare cuts, and will trigger doctor shortages. Now the Obamacare Survival Guide gives you the simple steps to protect your family.
Get the Obamacare Survival Guide at bookstores everywhere. It's already an Amazon bestseller. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 today. Go to Obamacare311.com. Obamacare311.com. That's Obamacare311.com.
In 2013, half of your friends, family, and neighbors may lose their jobs, all while you are robbed of 90% of your life savings, investments, and home's value. Controversial economist Robert Wiedemer, who was the only expert to predict the recession, has released a startling video with shocking evidence that the powers that be have tried to ban. But that hasn't stopped 50 million people from getting the truth. Watch it at aftbook.com. That's aftbook.com.
What is LigNet? LigNet is knowledge. LigNet is power. LigNet is global. Top-level officials, U.S. intelligence officers, national security advisors, foreign operatives, all reporting directly to you. What is LigNet? LigNet is confidential. LigNet is sensitive. LigNet is security. What is LigNet? They're the ones taking the world's pulse. If you're not in the know, you're not on lignet.com. You've been briefed.
I used to sleep like a baby. Now I have to get up in the middle of the night just to go to the bathroom. And not just once.
Men, if you suffer from frequent urination, the inability to empty your bladder, a hesitant urine stream, or leaking due to an aging prostate, listen to this. Renowned physician Dr. David Brownstein believes this does not need to be an inevitable part of aging. After extensive research, Dr. Brownstein has recently developed Prostate Revive, the dietary supplement specifically formulated to help improve and sustain normal prostate function. And now you can receive a 30-day supply of Prostate Revive. Just cover a $4.95 shipping fee. For complete details, visit prostaterevive.com/offer. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to a Healthy Prostate. Learn how you can try Prostate Revive for 30 days at prostaterevive.com/offer. Hurry, limited time offer. That's prostaterevive.com/offer.
150 million people suffer from headaches. All you want is for the pounding in your head to stop. Migralex stops the pounding. Migralex was developed by a neurologist and founder of the New York Headache Center.
I'm neurologist Dr. Alex Malzberg. After studying and researching the human brain for 25 years, I've developed Migralex, which eliminates pounding headaches. It works for my patients, and I'm so convinced it will work for you. I don't just guarantee it, I put my name on it.
Dr. Malzberg's Migralex gets rid of headaches fast without harsh caffeine, sodium, or preservatives.
Migralex works unbelievably fast, and it's gentle on my stomach.
Find out how to get your free bottle of Migralex. Call 800-532-2967. Plus, if you're one of the first 100 callers, you'll also receive the Migralex Quick Tips to Headache Relief absolutely free. That's 800-532-2967. Or go to migralexrelief.com. MIGRALEX relief.com. Or call 800-532-2967.
Where can you find the Steve Malzberg Show? Everywhere. From your smartphone to satellite radio to Newsmax Live TV to Roku, we have you covered. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're privileged that our guest, Charles Krauthammer, consented to stay for a second segment. The Pulitzer Prize winning author, columnist, commentator. You watch him every day on Fox News Channel, on Bret Baier's show. Read him in the Washington Post and on papers around the country. And he is the author of the book that's #1 today, ding, 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 on Amazon, and that is Things That Matter: 3 Decades of Passions, Pastimes, and Politics. So Charles, let me ask you a question. What do you think is the most important column that you have ever penned? Maybe at the time, at the most important column that you felt at the time, boy, this is it. The gravitas is really in this one because of many extenuating circumstances.
You're asking a parent to say which is his favorite child.
I know. I asked the tough ones.
Oh, well, no, I know. It's like, whenever you have to cut your copy, you love every word you wrote. It's very difficult to say. And I've been pretty consistent in misjudging the effect of my columns. There have been some that I've written that I thought were really terrific, and they don't leave a trace. Others that I thought would have no effect, and all of a sudden they cause a wildfire. I mean, the column that I think got the most response ever was in defense of the Border Collie, where I was nominated for president of the American Border Collie Society. I think probably the most important one I wrote is the one I wrote on 9/11 that afternoon that was published the very next morning in the Washington Post, where I just couldn't believe how Bush administration officials were still speaking in law enforcement terms about bringing people to justice. And I wrote in the column, after Pearl Harbor, FDR did not go to the Congress and say, I want to bring General Tojo to justice and the pilots who attacked Pearl Harbor. He understood this was a matter of war, and that the criminal justice system had no application to this. So that was, I think, the one that was the most important, and it was important because we had to. One of the reasons we suffered 9/11 is because we had not understood that the threat of Islamist terror was a matter of war and not law enforcement. So I would say that's probably the most important.
And what was the most interesting? Looking back now, not at the time, but looking back, non-political, and talk about how you spend your non-political time. I mean, I know you love baseball and various other activities, and you have other passions which are all expressed in your columns throughout the years. But talk about when Charles Krauthammer is not on camera, aside from like me, watching and listening and absorbing and thinking about the next column for yourself or the next commentary. But what do you do for enjoyment besides your political life?
Well, until recently, we had a bunch of guys, about a dozen of us, journalists, lawyers, and assorted people around town that would meet. I wrote a column about this called the Pariah Chess Club. We'd meet on Monday nights at my house and play speed chess, the kind you see in the park.
Right.
With clocks flying, pieces flying. We don't sit back with a pipe in an overstuffed chair and take 3-hour games. The game is played in 5 minutes, so you play about 20 a night.
Oh.
It's like in pool. You rack them up as soon as you're done.
Right.
And it's fast and furious. There's a little bit of money riding on it, but it's mostly pride. And that but we had that going for about 10 or 12 years. And that's a lot of fun, especially because it was fairly high level and very collegial. Now, I admitted on the documentary that Fox ran last night on me that I gave it up. And Bret Baier asked me why. And I said, because it's a bloody addiction, because it's a poison. And after you find yourself playing speed chess on the internet at 3 in the morning, you feel like an alcoholic who's alone in a motel room drinking Aqua Velva.
Wow.
And you realize you got to stop. So temporarily, I'm off the wagon. I don't know, on the wagon. I don't even know. Am I on or off the wagon?
Seinfeld did a bit about that once.
Yeah.
I don't know the deal either. Off or on.
I think I'm off the wagon for that.
Charles, what about baseball? You following the World Series? I mean, we've had 2 games end in an unprecedented manner. The interference call, obstruction call in Game 3, and last night's pickoff at first base with Beltran as the tying run at the plate.
Yeah, this is sort of weirdness squared. And that's what you love about baseball. One of the cliches about baseball is if you go to a game, chances are you will see something you've never seen before. And there are a million games played, but there's always something peculiar. For 2 of them to happen in a row in a World Series is pretty. But that's why I love the game. And In fact, there are several columns on baseball, including one called "The Joy of Losing," which I wrote in 2009 when my team was, I think it lost 103 games. And people found it extremely eccentric of me that I kept going. And I tried to explain that when you have a winning team, you go to watch them win. When you have a losing team, you go to watch the game.
Right.
And the intricacies and the elegance of it.
Are you a Cubs fan?
Oh, no. I suffer enough.
Okay, who's the team that lost 108 game? Which one?
The Washington Nationals.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
before they became good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going through that with the New Jersey Devils right now. I think they've won one out of their last 10, and it's pretty sad. Anyway, Charles, it has been an honor to speak to you, and the book is full of these kinds of things, folks. You learn a lot about the columns that Charles picked for the book by reading what's in the book, and there's many, many sides. He's a very fascinating and multifaceted man, and if you have another game you want to recommend to Charles, give him a ring at Fox, I guess, because he's probably looking for one after the speed chest went away. Thank you very much, sir. An honor to talk to you.
Pleasure.
Take care. Charles Krauthammer, ladies and gentlemen. Things That Matter, 3 decades of passions, pastimes, and politics. #1 on Amazon as we speak. So this is pretty cool. Now, confession. Usually I'm in here before. I don't hear talk radio. I listen to All News Radio on the way in, and I'm in here by a little after noon. So I don't get to hear Rush or anything. But, a talk radio person, we flip the dials. Today, I got to hear the top of Rush's show, and that's where I heard him talk about that he had gotten emails. He hadn't heard it, but he had gotten emails about the special that Fox ran yesterday, about how Charles Krauthammer said that he misjudged Obama the first time around, or he didn't realize the first time around. So that's where that came from. But very interesting, fascinating man. And read it's worth it just for the personal autobiographical story of Charles Krauthammer on its own. All right, folks. So when we come back, Ted Rall, radical liberal cartoonist, blasting Obamacare and the incompetence of Obama and the people around him. You're not going to want to miss this exclusive right here. One exclusive after the other on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Okay, this will interest anyone with diabetes or pre-diabetes. And what I'm about to tell you is pretty controversial, so you want to definitely consult your doctor first. But if diabetes concerns you, there's a toll-free number you need to call, 855-500 diabetes. At that number, they reveal what they call the one weird spice that's probably in your kitchen right now and how it normalizes blood sugar levels. Now, what they say is people who have followed this plan exactly as they will explain it to you have not only normalized their blood sugar, but stopped taking their diabetes medications with their doctor's approval, of course. You get 3 specific actions to take right now, today, to get your blood sugar level under control in 4 weeks or less. Is it possible to reverse diabetes? 855-500-DIABETES and find out now. Check with your doctor, of course, because I'm not giving you medical advice here. But if you have diabetes or are worried about your blood sugar, I think you should call 855-500-DIABETES. 855-500-DIABETES.
When you were younger, you probably never considered your heart health. But cardiologist Dr. Chauncey Crandall knows from experience that taking steps to care for your heart becomes more crucial as the decades pass, if you want to keep this vital organ ticking smoothly for years to come. That's why Dr. Crandall recently developed Cardio Advanced, a nutritional supplement containing 12 special ingredients, all selected to help improve and maintain your heart health and normal cholesterol levels. The flagship of this exclusive formula, esterified plant sterols, may help lower your risk of heart disease when taken as part of a diet low in cholesterol and fat. And great news, now you have the opportunity to try a 30-day supply of Cardio Advanced. Simply cover a $4.95 shipping and handling charge. Plus, if you act right now, you'll also receive a free doctor's guide to a healthy heart as a special bonus. Please visit cardioadvanced.com/radio for complete details on claiming your 30-day bottle of Cardio Advanced and free report. That's cardioadvanced.com/radio. Life is too precious to ignore your heart health. Visit cardioadvanced.com/radio now while supplies last.
Do you have a motorized wheelchair or scooter that needs repairs and you don't know where to turn? Then call the experts at Precision Repair Network. They are the specialists in repairing all makes and models of motorized wheelchairs and scooters. You can call 24/7 and they will come to you anywhere in the United States. They'll give you a loaner to use until they return yours in perfect condition. And your repairs may be covered by your Medicare or your private insurance, so there is little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. If your wheelchair or scooter needs repairs, call this special hotline now and learn how you can get door-to-door service on your repairs at little or no cost to you. Precision Repair Network. They'll get you moving again. Operators are ready to take your call right now. 800-978-4813. 800-978-4813. 800-978-4813. That's 800-978-4813.
Constipation, gas, bloating. Most people suffer through. But now there's a simple solution for occasional digestive problems called Bactipro. Developed by holistic medical doctor David Brownstein, Bactipro is the fiber probiotic formula that supports healthy digestive and immune health. And it comes in the form of an easy-to-eat, tasty wafer. Bactipro contains 6 powerful strains of beneficial probiotic bacteria, dietary fiber, and bacteria-nourishing prebiotics, plus powerful antioxidants. Now you can receive a 30-day supply of Bactipro. Just cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit Bactipro.com/special. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to Probiotics and Your Health. Improve your digestive health now. Learn how you can receive your 30-day supply at Bactipro.com/special. That's BACTIPRO.com/special. Bactipro.com/special.
This is not your typical Screamfest talk show. No. This is the next generation of talk radio. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. Coming up in just a little while, we'll be joined by Senator Ron Johnson, Republican from Wisconsin, who wants to, well, he's introducing a bill, the If You Like Your Health Plan, You Can Keep It Act, based on the many times Barack Obama promised that no one's going to take your health coverage away. If you like it, you can keep it. Joining us now is cartoonist Ted Rall. He needs no further introduction. He is iconic in nature. Just ask him now. Hey, Ted, how are you? Good to talk to you.
Likewise, Steve. Been too long?
It has been too long, and I thank you for accommodating us. Okay, so you wrote a very interesting piece at the Daily Kos about the whole rollout and the hearings the other day of Obamacare and the computer quote-unquote glitches.
Yes, indeed. And in fact, I wrote a 3-part column that you can find on my website, rawl.com, about my personal experiences trying to log on to Obamacare. I'm self-employed and I need insurance, and I'm required to get it under the new law. So I have been spending the last 3 weeks attempting to get the Affordable Care Act coverage through New York State's version of the site, and was completely unable to do so. I still am not able to do it. And this is actually part of a topic that has been left out of the mainstream media, which is the state sites. The federal site is completely messed up. But for the most part, the state sites are pretty much the same way, and they were designed pretty much in concert with the Department of Health and Human Services. They were consulted and guided all along, so it's not surprising. But it's not just the federal site. It's also a lot of the state sites. I live in New York State. Obviously, it's a very big state, and as far as I can tell, it's not possible to buy a plan on the site.
All right, and you know, even if you were, I don't know what your health insurance is now, or if you have any. Do you have any now?
Mine lapsed 2 months ago. I couldn't afford the previous rate of $610 a month, and before they took down the ability to look at the actual plan amounts, the cheapest I could find on New York State's site was $830 a month. So for worse coverage.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Okay, how about a deductible? Well, how do your two deductibles compare? Did you get that far into the site?
Yeah, I was able to compare everything.
And what were the deductibles, old and new?
My previous deductible was $2,500 a year. This was going to be $3,500 a year. And previously they paid 80%. I paid 20%. This would be me paying 50% and the insurer paying 50%.
Wow. So, all right. So, yeah, go ahead. Give me more good news. Yeah.
I also can't tell whether my doctor would be included or not in the plan. New York State's website doesn't allow you to check that.
All right. So, I could skip to the end here, but I just want to, before I get to Sarah Palin and something you did, which is kind of, when I saw it, that's what, my eyes opened with it. But so, I mean, you call this in the headline, I don't know if you wrote the headline, you're quoting Sarah Palin kind of, but is this idiotic? I mean, is it worse? The incompetence. Talk about the incompetence as you describe it of this whole thing, not the computers. It's not just a computer. Look at the plan you're offered. You're not going to save money. You're going to spend much more money than you ever thought. I mean, this whole thing is a disaster. Do you agree?
I do agree. It's a complete disaster. And I suspect we disagree. We probably agree for different reasons as to why it's a disaster. But what we're looking at is like I wrote in my column this week, a bastard hybrid between private and public sector. And those things rarely work out well. It's better when, for example, I wouldn't want to see the military privatized, although you could argue that it has been to a large extent. But, the military should be a public endeavor. You can see what's gone on here with the healthcare system. The big problem, there's a lot of problems with the American healthcare system the way it is now. And one of the big ones is the insurance companies are making excessive profits. They're paying their CEOs too much, and they're passing on the costs to us, to the patients. And this problem, the Affordable Care Act actually makes that problem worse because it hands them 40 to 50 million new customers that without any kind of price controls whatsoever, no federal oversight, and they're trying to merge this all through this bizarre marketplace that requires people who don't really need insurance, young people in their 20s, to voluntarily subsidize or not so voluntarily subsidize those of us who are older and therefore more of an insurance risk.
Not only does it require, it depends. The success of it, quote unquote, depends on them signing up.
And then, as John Boehner said, how can you tax people for not buying a product that you can't buy? And you can't buy Obamacare right now. In most states, it is not possible to buy a plan. So it's a disaster. And this is Obama's Katrina moment. This is the moment when, as President Bush, messed up the reaction to Hurricane Katrina in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast. We're seeing exactly the same thing here. These guys had 2.5 years to get ready for this. And apparently now we're finding out through pieces in the Washington Post and elsewhere that they were only doing end-to-end testing the last couple of weeks of September before the October 1st launch. I mean, lots of people knew this was going to be bad, and they were right, and it is bad.
Well, Sarah, after all, Kathleen Sebelius, when she was interviewed the other day, said she wished, ideally, she wanted 5 years. 5 years. Now, we're talking to Ted Rall, liberal cartoonist, here on the Steve Malzberg Show, and you can read him at Rall, RALL.com. Your piece is entitled Via Sarah Palin, How Obamacare's idiotic ACA, Affordable Care Act, might lead to real health care reform. At the end, your last line is, I never thought I'd say this, but from Sarah Palin's lips to God's ears. Tell the folks what it is that you quoted Sarah Palin saying that you agree with.
Well, Sarah Palin says that she views the botched rollout of the Affordable Care Act as a road to socialized medicine, which people like me are very much in favor of. I would love to see socialized medicine. I want to see.
You mean single payer, one payer, one plan?
Single payer. I would like a British or Canadian style system. I think that doctors and nurses should be federal employees. I think that the profit incentive should be taken out of healthcare entirely. But what Governor Palin was arguing was that this was intentional. That they didn't do a good job because they knew it would lead to that. I don't think that's the case. I don't think Obama and his team are that smart. I think that they screwed this up. I think they wanted a semi-market-based plan, and they just didn't know how to pull it off. But the irony is that I think that Governor Palin's prediction may turn out to be right, because she sort of walks us through in her blog post, which is very well written, that it's just sort of the scenario where people are going to be so dissatisfied with this launch that they'll say, to hell with it, let's just go with full-fledged socialized medicine. And I think that could happen. I don't think it's a shoo-in, but it absolutely is a possibility.
Well, I'm sure that you are well aware, or maybe not, of the horror stories out of Great Britain and Canada. I mean, when it comes to, first of all, anybody who's elderly, but also if you need to see a specialist or get elective surgery, and taking the profit motive out of medicine, I don't know who you're going to get to be doctors. God help us, but you could root for what you want. I just don't understand it at all. We have the best healthcare system in the world. I don't care what statistics show. Where would you? Is there a country that I defy anybody who says, "Oh no, our healthcare system sucks," or it's the 98th or 72nd or whatever? What country would you take your kids to go get treatment? And what country do all the heads of state come to get treatment for specialties like cancer or heart disease when they're sick? So we have the best healthcare system in the world, and now you want to make it like Canada and Great Britain, which are disasters.
Well, I think that the European models do much better for more people than the American model does. I mean, no doubt, if you have an unusual disease, if you need a transplant, you should come to the United States. But for the vast majority of people who are just breaking legs and catching the flu and on a day-to-day basis need regular health care, the United States system is really failing them terribly. I mean, I myself am not even poor. I would be solidly middle class. And there are many times when I don't go to the doctor because I'm afraid of incurring the bill.
Wait. You had a policy that paid 80%. It cost you $610 a month, and you had a $2,500 deductible. So how does that fail you?
Because I was already paying the $610 a month, and on top of that, I have to pay the 20% out of pocket plus the several $1,000 deductible.
Right. Now you're going to have to do worse. Now you're going to have to do worse under Obamacare.
Right. Well, that's true. I mean, we're taking a terrible system and making it worse under Obamacare. I argued that from the very beginning, by the way. I mean, this is one of those places where the people on the left and the right should be able to agree. This is not a good solution. We were better off before. I think left and right can agree on that. The issue, this is a bizarre, weird, cobbled together, neither beast nor fowl compromise that doesn't serve any purpose. I would rather have either a fully free market system or a fully socialized system. I don't want some cobbled together monster like the ACA.
So, okay, and I do think that I don't think Obama wanted this to happen, but I do think that the ultimate goal of Obama is certainly for the single payer. I think that's the ultimate goal of all the Democrats. Without a doubt, we're talking to Ted Rall, cartoonist here on the nationally syndicated cartoonist here on the Steve Malzberg Show. All right, so where would you like to see this go? Would you like to see this delayed? Would you like to see it implemented and let the chips fall where they may, and let's have an election on it in 2014? I know you probably root for the Democrats, so that might not be good for Democrats retaking the House or even keeping the Senate. So what would you like to see from today on?
Well, I mean, I think first of all, we have the Affordable Care Act, and it's not going away. So, I mean, I can't imagine any scenario under which the deadlines that are set for December 15th and February 15th are not pushed back.
But who's going to push him back? Like King Obama, the way he gave exemptions to businesses and the way he gave exemptions to groups and certain companies, he's going to just decide unilaterally as monarch this will be delayed? Or does it have to be Congress?
I think it's going to be Congress, and it's going to be an outcry, and it's going to be on both sides of the aisle. I mean, there's just too many millions of Americans who've been affected by this. And, what's interesting about this is it's kind of, it's an interaction. For many Americans, this is the first real detailed interaction they've had with the federal government or even with state government, aside from things like renewing your driver's license.
Right. This has become the DMV, absolutely, or worse.
Yeah. And, well, the DMV's gotten better over the years. Yeah. So, I mean, I actually lost my license and got a new one online in 2 weeks. I was very impressed. But, but this is definitely.
By the way, I found your license. I was going to send it back to you. No, kidding.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah. Appreciate it. I was wondering who was racking up the speed. But, no, so, I think that for many people, they're very surprised by this. I think that the government, Health and Human Services handled this pretty much the way that they treat the poor people who are getting food stamps and welfare. And it's like, I'm sorry, but you can't really just treat tens of millions of uninsured working class Americans this way, they're not used to it.
Yeah.
And they're going to freak out.
Well,
they don't like getting the runaround, and it's not fair, and it's not right, and it's so I think they're going to push back the deadline, and what we're going to look at is what comes next. Now I think
Ted, we're gonna have to leave it there because I'm up against a hard break. I thank you, and we'll talk again soon. I promise. Ted Roll, syndicated cartoonist. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, great. All right, folks, when we come back, as I mentioned, we'll be joined by Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, who's proposing the If You Like Your Health Plan, You Can Keep It Act. Don't go away. You're going to want to hear about this right here on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Hi, this is Mike Reagan. You need to watch out, because thousands of new Obamacare rules are currently being implemented, and few know what the law says or does. Listen to what Senator Max Baucus, one of the authors of the Obamacare law, recently said.
I tell you, I just see a huge train wreck coming down, and I don't see any results yet. I just see a huge train wreck.
He's right. So protect yourself from this train wreck. Get the #1 bestseller, the Obamacare Survival Guide. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law. Join more than 500,000 Americans who have their copy.
Get the #1 bestseller, the Obamacare Survival Guide, at bookstores everywhere. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by bookstores everywhere. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by care311.com.
Hi, this is Mike Reagan. Folks ask me, what would Ronald Reagan do if he were with us today? I believe the first thing he'd do is stop Obamacare. Already it's in effect, with higher taxes, hidden fees, skyrocketing insurance rates, big Medicare cuts, and some insurance plans are hit with a 40% tax. Protect yourself by getting the Obamacare Survival Guide. It's already a #1 New York Times bestseller. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law, giving you the strategies, tips, and loopholes you need to know. If you're insured on Medicare, a business owner, a medical professional, just about anyone, you need this book.
Get the #1 bestseller, the Obamacare Survival Guide, at bookstores everywhere. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by going now to Obamacare311.com. Obamacare311.com. That's Obamacare311.com.
Hello, my name is Fred Fleitz, and I'm the managing editor of LigNet. You've probably seen our name preceding some of the stories you read on Newsmax or heard LigNet referenced on Fox News, C-SPAN, or CNN. Perhaps you've asked yourself, what is LigNet? LigNet is an acronym for the Langley Intelligence Group Network, a private Washington, D.C. based service that provides global intelligence, in-depth analysis, and detailed forecasting.
Who is LigNet?
LigNet's staff and advisors include former CIA officers, national security experts, presidential advisors, and top-level government officials from around the world. I myself held several national security posts for the U.S. government during my 25-year career with the Central Intelligence Agency, the Defense Intelligence Agency, the U.S. Department of State, and the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Our lead advisor is General Michael Hayden, the former director of the CIA. He is joined by former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations John Bolton and former chairman of the National Intelligence Council and Special Assistant to President Ronald Reagan Fritz Ehrmann, former U.S. Ambassador to Venezuela Otto Reich, and former clandestine service officer Frederick Russman. Former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee Peter Hoekstra also joined our advisory board staff.
What is LigNet's mission?
Every day our goal is to use our expertise, our resources, and our worldwide staff to take the pulse of the ever-changing political and economic landscape and the threats we face on a daily basis. Whether you are following global events for your portfolio or business, or just interested in the world around you, LigNet provides what you need to know to keep up with global events.
What are the benefits of joining LigNet?
There are many. Every day, LigNet members receive the Morning Brief, a daily email that provides summaries and links to our daily analysis to keep you up to date on LigNet's assessments. LigNet members receive unrestricted access to LigNet's secure database of global analysis. All of our special reports, previous analyses, and exclusive video interviews with intelligence insiders are available to members 24 hours a day. But you also get top-notch analysis that resembles the President's Daily Brief, the classified intelligence assessment delivered to the President of the United States every morning. LigNet also sends breaking news emails to our membership list. If there is a development of global proportions or a terror alert, our subscribers are always the first to know. I hope you now have a better understanding of what LigNet is, but more importantly, recognize how truly invaluable LigNet can be. As the old saying goes, knowledge is power.
Join LigNet for $1. Go to lignet.com.
Knowledge is power.
Join LigNet for $1. Go to lignet.com.
Get off the sidelines and be a part of the show. Call Steve toll-free at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are joined right now by Senator Ron Johnson, Republican from the great state of Wisconsin. Hey, Senator, thank you for joining us.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
I am fine. Good to talk to you again. I was most intrigued by your proposal because we've been playing almost nonstop. If you like your health care, you can keep it. No one's going to take it away from you. Not now, not ever. And, of course, that's just one of the many lies or misrepresentations made by the president. So talk about the if you like your health care plan, you could keep it act.
Well, you are right. I always consider the two big promises President Obama made during the health care debate was if you have a family plan by the end of his first term, the cost of it will actually decrease by $2,500 per family per year. And if you like your health care plan, you can keep it, period. Like no questions asked, no doubt about it. And, of course, we're seeing that promise being broken and violated thousands of times. Actually, there's over 1 million people already that have received notice that their health care plan they currently have will end come January 1st, and they're going to be forced to try and access health care on the disastrous website called Obamacare.com.
I think it's healthcare.gov, if I'm not mistaken.
But what's unfortunate about this is I can't protect every American with this bill because short of repeal, that's the only way President Obama can actually honor that promise. So, what Americans need to understand is that the president was one of two things: either totally dishonest with the American public when he made that promise, or he was just frighteningly ignorant and had no clue what was actually in his health care bill, or didn't realize the consequences of what was Obamacare. Just didn't understand it, because there's no way with the passage of this bill that every American would be able to keep their health care plan if they like it. There's just simply no way whatsoever.
All right, let me ask you, sir. By the way, we just had liberal cartoonist Ted Rall on, and he is blasting Obama and the whole thing. And he said he's now paying $610 a month. He's going to have to pay $830. His deductible is $2,500. It'll be $3,500,
yeah.
And they're paying 80%. They'll only pay 50% of his costs after that. So he's getting screwed along with everybody. But for time, I want to go to this next question, sir. Chris Ruddy, CEO and founder of Newsmax, my boss, who we'll have on at the top of the next hour, wrote a column last week, and I think he spurred on a tidal wave of similar response from and then it won't be that much of an issue in 2014 because the full effect of the chaos won't be felt by the voters. So where do you fall on that?
Well, first of all, I think the default position will be that this thing is going to be implemented and it will be a disaster, and that's exactly what's going to happen. I do think there's a certain responsibility for us to limit the damage. And let me just talk about this. If you like your health care plan, you can keep it act. Because what really prompted me to pull the trigger on this thing now, we've been thinking about this. We've been trying to figure out how to go about doing this. But we had a couple in Wisconsin, both with cancer, and they were they were on the high-risk pool insurance, paying about $600 or $767 per month for their coverage. They appreciate the coverage. It was working really well. They got the notice that their coverage ends on January 1st. The husband has tried almost 50 times to replace that plan. What he's getting, and the only information he's getting, he's starting to contact the insurance companies directly. The bottom line is his cost of coverage will probably double.
Wow.
Now, with government subsidies, his costs may remain somewhat similar in terms of his own out-of-pocket, but the American taxpayer will have to pick up the doubling in cost of his health care because of Obamacare. So there you see a violation, a breaking of those two promises. He's not able to keep his health care. And by the way, here are two individuals with cancer. Adding stress to being ill is not a good thing. And then the cost of their coverage will basically double. And of course, President Obama said if the cost of a family plan would decline by $2,500.
Yeah,
so I mean, that is just what disaster Obamacare is going to be to our health care system, to people's lives, to our federal budget, to personal freedom is just incalculable.
So what's the next step here in the Senate? Do you have a lot of support? Is there any bipartisan support?
Well, we're probably going to introduce the bill later this week. We just got the legislative language, just kind of worked that out. And right now, I'm going to be casting about for Democratic co-sponsors. I'll first start with the 10 Democrat senators that are at least recognizing that if people can't buy the insurance, you probably shouldn't fine them. I mean, I have to admit that's just sort of a basic tenet of fairness right there. If they can't buy coverage, how can you tax? It's not a penalty anymore, Steve. It's a tax.
Right.
You can't tax them for not being able to buy health care. So those 10 Democrat senators that at least are willing to be fair-minded enough to say we probably ought to delay that individual mandate, maybe they'll also be fair-minded enough to say that we'll help President Obama honor at least this promise to a certain percentage of Americans and let them keep their health care, not experience a doubling of their costs.
All right, Senator, kudos to you and good luck with it, and we'll keep abreast of how it's doing. Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. Take care. Senator Ron Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, a Republican from Wisconsin. If you like your health care plan, you could keep your health care plan, or should I say if you like your health care plan, you could keep your health care plan Act, which will be hopefully introduced in the Senate later this week. We'll keep an eye on that. When we come back, the founder and CEO of Newsmax Media, Chris Ruddy, as I said, he started a whole new conversation with his column last week about what the Republicans should do in keeping the implementation of Obamacare on schedule. We'll talk about it with him on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Okay, this will interest anyone with diabetes or prediabetes. And what I'm about to tell you is pretty controversial, so you want to definitely consult your doctor first. But if diabetes concerns you, there's a toll-free number you need to call, 855-500-DIABETES. At that number, they reveal what they call the one weird spice that's probably in your kitchen right now and how it normalizes blood sugar levels. Now, what they say is people who have followed this plan exactly as they will explain it to you have not only normalized their blood sugar, but stopped taking their diabetes medications with their doctor's approval, of course. You get 3 specific actions to take right now, today, to get your blood sugar level under control in 4 weeks or less. Is it possible to reverse diabetes? 855-500-DIABETES and find out now. Check with your doctor, of course, because I'm not giving you medical advice here. But if you have diabetes or are worried about your blood sugar, I think you should call 855-500-DIABETES. 855-500-DIABETES.
Do you suffer from joint discomfort? Contrary to what the experts may say, achy joints do not have to be a normal part of aging. Holistic doctor David Brownstein challenged conventional thinking to focus on natural solutions for joint health. As a result, Dr. Brownstein has recently developed Limbex, the premium nutritional supplement specifically formulated to support healthy joints and connective tissue. It's the premium nutritional supplement specifically formulated to support healthy joints and connective tissue. It's a new special and take the 30-day Healthy Joint Challenge. That's a 30-day supply of the Limbex Joint Supplement. All you pay is a $4.95 shipping fee. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to Happy, Healthy Joints at Any Age. You can do something about joint discomfort and flexibility. Learn how you can try it for 30 days at limbexjoint.com/special. That's limbexjoint.com/special. limbexjoint.com/special.
Hello and welcome to your Newsmax Now update. I'm Kathleen Walter. There are even more problems for the troubled website healthcare.gov. The application and enrollment system for the website went down Sunday. The problems with the government's online health insurance marketplace has drawn the ire of many in Congress, including Representative Darrell Issa, who says Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius served the president poorly in managing his signature legislation.
The president has been poorly served in the implementation of his own signature legislation. So if somebody doesn't leave, and if there isn't a real restructuring, not just a 60 days somebody come in and try to fix it, then he's missing the point of Management 101, which is these people are to serve him well, and they haven't.
New Hampshire Senator Jeannie Shaheen, a Democrat, is now calling for a one-year delay of the individual mandate, which requires all Americans to have health insurance by March 31st of next year or pay a fine. European officials are in Washington today for meetings with White House aides and members of Congress over reports the U.S. was spying on as many as 35 world leaders. The visit comes on the heels of a new revelation from a German newspaper which says the NSA listened in on German Chancellor Angela Merkel's phone calls as far back as 2002, and that NSA Chief General Keith Alexander briefed the president on the spying in 2010. The White House denies the report.
I think we have repair work to do, and I think we have hard questions we need to ask of the NSA about what's really happening in this program.
Just this morning, a Spanish newspaper posted a story claiming documents obtained from Edward Snowden show the U.S. intercepted 60 million phone calls from Spanish citizens in just 1 month. A hurricane-like storm dubbed the St. Jude storm is pounding Great Britain at this hour. Heavy rain and winds with gusts up to 99 miles per hour. Storm is pounding Great Britain at this hour. Heavy rain and winds with gusts up to 99 miles per hour in years to sweep across the UK. Officials say a 14-year-old boy died when he was swept out to sea. Travel delays are expected throughout the country as the storm moves across Great Britain. The Boston Red Sox will meet the St. Louis Cardinals for Game 5 of the World Series. The series is now split 2-2 after the Sox defeated the Cards last night. The game's score is 4-2. Tonight's game starts at 8:07 Eastern Standard Time at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Coming up on your Newsmax Now update, our exclusive interview with former NSA Director General Michael Hayden. Why he's saying his conversations overheard by a former MoveOn.org staffer were really no big deal. And it's become an annual tradition in Key West. Next, we'll take you to the nation's southernmost point for the Keys' annual Halloween Mardi Gras mashup. Those stories straight ahead.
In 2013, half of your friends, family, and neighbors may lose their jobs, all while you are robbed of 90% of your life savings, investments, and home's value. Controversial economist Robert Wiedemer, who was the only expert to predict the recession, has released a startling video with shocking evidence that the powers that be have tried to ban. But that hasn't stopped 50 million people from getting the truth. Watch it at aftbook.com. That's aftbook.com.
What is Lignet? Lignet is knowledge. Lignet is power. Lignet is global. Top-level officials, U.S. intelligence officers, national security advisors, foreign operatives, all reporting directly to you. What is Lignet? Lignet is confidential. Lignet is sensitive. Lignet is security. What is Lignet? They're the ones taking the world's pulse. If you're not in the know, you're not on Lignet.com. You've been briefed.
Here's today's silver shortage update from Lear Capital.
Reports keep coming, the shortage is growing. Twice already this year, the U.S. Mint has run out. Last time this happened, the silver price jumped 40%. It's time to take advantage with this special offer from Lear Capital.
For a limited time, buy 20 new silver polar bear coins and get one free. The only 1.5-ounce coin on the market. It's minted with the finest silver, carries a government guarantee, and is eligible for IRAs. The Silver Polar Bear is available exclusively from Lear Capital. But don't wait. Silver supplies are shrinking and availability is not guaranteed. This offer is limited to a minimum purchase of $5,000. Call right now. 800-634-0482. 800-634-0482. Call Lear Capital now. 800-634-0482.
Former NSA Director Michael Hayden lashed out at the media for its coverage of what he described as a non-story. Tom Mazzy, the former director of the MoveOn.org Washington group, tweeted what he claimed were excerpts of phone conversations General Hayden had on a train last week. The duo posed for this photo after, covered widely by the media.
I have some experience, and frankly, I welcome the debate that all this is going to engender, but it should be an informed debate. And so I answered the questions.
And finally, this was the scene in Key West, Florida this weekend for the island's annual Fantasy Fest celebration. About 10,000 people dressed up in costumes and took part in the Masquerade March through Key West's historic Old Town. The 10-day costuming festival ended Sunday. And remember, for more exclusive interviews and content, stay with Newsmax TV. I'm Kathleen Walter, and this has been your Newsmax Now update for October 28th. Take care.
4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2, 1. Broadcasting live from the Newsmax studios, this is the Steve Malzberg Show. Be a part of the action by calling toll-free 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Or email Steve at malzbergshow@newsmax.com. Here is Steve Malzberg. Here is Steve Malzberg.
The founder and CEO of Newsmax Media, Chris Ruddy. Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm great, Steve.
Well, I'm telling you, you started quite a firestorm with a column that you wrote for Newsmax.com last week, and basically you are saying instead of going along with the call by 10 Democratic senators and others on the Democratic side to, yes, force Obama to delay the implementation of Obamacare and various parts of it, you say let it be implemented and allow the voters to decide the outcome in 2014.
Well, it's pretty clear that the Obama administration has already delayed a lot of key provisions of the law, some, I think, without any legal authority to do so. President Obama delayed the employer mandate, which was supposed to begin January 1st, and said he's going to delay it for a year. I've never heard where a president can change the date of a law's enactment, but he seems to think he has the authority. No one in Congress has complained. I know there's a lawsuit by Judicial Watch over the matter. But to me, I think that there's a reason why he wanted delays and why Democrats now are calling for the delay on the individual mandate. They know the law stinks. They know that people are going to be very unhappy, and they're afraid to go into this congressional election next year in 2014. So I say let them have a referendum. Let's have a referendum on the law. They put it through. They signed it. They made it into law. They rammed it down the Republicans' throats. Let's see what happens instead of the Republicans trying to help them out of this every time.
No, I think that you make a great point, and you point out in your piece, take a look at the poll numbers, and even the labor unions don't want this. So, there's a cry all across the spectrum that people are unhappy about this. They're not going to like it, and if we could run on this in 2014 instead of giving something that would help Obama and the Democrats, it would be beneficial. But do you think? The Republicans being the Republicans and sometimes the leadership being what it is, do you think we could reverse this this call? Because they ran, of course, during the whole shutdown and debt ceiling debate on delaying it. Can they stop into their tracks and reverse quickly enough to make it happen your way?
Well, the best thing for Obamacare is not going to be defunded. It's not going to be stopped completely as long as Obama's president. That's pretty clear. But the best thing the Republicans have going for them is that they have a very good shot of capturing the U.S. Senate, which would then give them full control of the U.S. Congress and make it much more difficult for Obama just to accept things as they are. And so with 10 seats up that are supposedly could go Republican, and this law is so unpopular, I say let the election take place, and a new Congress will then start discussing how to modify Obamacare. And you mentioned the unions oppose it. This is really everything we're seeing so far is the tip of an enormous iceberg of problems, because most of the law really doesn't get implemented, and now with these delays, until 2014, 15, some of it's 16 and 17. The Medicare cuts are coming. It's going to be horrific.
Yeah, and of course all the people, millions across the country, every day the stories are written, Florida, California, and everywhere else that are losing their individual policies. We're talking to Chris Ruddy, CEO and founder of Newsmax Media here on the Steve Malzberg Show. You know, you also addressed this fallacy, Chris, which I'm very glad you did in your piece, that talks about how this law, it's settled law, it was debated, it was passed by Congress, it was reviewed by the Supreme Court, 2 elections were held on it, 2 presidential elections, and that's what the people wanted. And in 08 and 012, that's really not the case.
Well, Obama said that that the voters really want this. Well, I think Romney didn't make it an issue in 2012. We know why, because he had passed Romney Care. During the election, he even started embracing parts of Obamacare. So I just think that there was never really, the clearest election was in 2010 after he passed the law and signed it into law. And the Republicans won an overwhelming number of seniors, record turnout. They got control of Congress again. They'll hold control probably for the next 10 years if they don't screw it up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This mantra by President Obama, if you like your insurance, you could keep it. If you like your doctor, you could keep it. You know, more and more people on the left are coming out. Ted Rall, of all people, who we had on earlier. I'm also talking about Patty Davis, Ezra Klein, just to name a few on the hard left that are really upset over not only the computer glitches, but this whole Obamacare fiasco. Kirsten Powers on Fox News. So you've hit a nerve here, I think, that if we help the Democrats and give them the cover, it's going to be beneficial to them and not to the Republicans. But again, what do you suggest they do now? Do you suggest that they reject the call, for instance, from the 10 senators and come out and say in so many words, nope, we wanted a delay. Now you're not getting a delay. The law should be implemented. I mean, will they do that broadly, or will they do it kind of calmly behind the scenes?
They should just not act on any legislation and pass any legislation. They have the ability to stop controlling the House. The House could act, even if the Senate decides. So there's a number of stops. I think there's a growing awareness, like you said. Larry Kudlow, Mike Reagan, other people have said that the Obamacare should just be enacted as it is. He passed it and let the voters decide in the coming election. You know, Obama said that Obamacare would reduce premiums by $2,500 a year for the average family, and he said that you'd keep your doctor and your insurance policy. We know all 3 of those are untrue. Insurance rates are going to go up, Congress estimates, by about 200% in the next several years. California, they're already talking about 25% rate increases. Most people across the country are seeing 10 to 15%, and the law hasn't really come into full effect. So it's going to be in the next few years, and how that plays into everybody on their current policy. They've got an employer. Most employers, I think, and I'm talking to a lot of business people, that the costs are going to go so high for insurance, they're just going to decide to pay the fine, and they're going to tell their employees to go on the exchanges. So the employees now are going to have to go on exchanges, and that'll change their insurance, and it'll change their doctor in some cases. So it's not a very good system, and people are going to suddenly realize. And then you add to the complexity of the doctor wait times, and the Medicare, people who's not on private insurance, but Medicare is going to see $700 billion in cuts, and a lot of changes that are going to negatively impact them in the next few years. Which, by the way, Newsmax's subsidiary company published the Obamacare Survival Guide, and it really is the best guide to the law. Most people have no idea what the 22,000 pages. Nick Tate, one of our writers, went through, put in simple English what happens. The book has already been a New York Times #1 bestseller. It's been an Amazon #1 bestseller. It's sold over 500,000 copies. And I'll make a shameless plug that people can go to bookstores everywhere or Amazon. If they go to Obamacare911.com, Obamacare911.com, they can even get it for a special $4.95 offer.
Well, it's far from a shameless plug. We had Nick on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he did a great job going over what was in the book. And there's so many things. That book is a Bible for not only patients and the general public, but also for pharmacists and for doctors and for hospital workers to see how the law is going to affect each and every one of them.
Yeah, well, like a lot of people on Medicare don't know, a good number of people on Medicare are going to see their prescription drug costs go up. Others will see it go down. Many people will see tax increases, not everybody. If you're in Medicare and you're in a hospital, the new cuts are going to sort of force hospitals to reduce the amount of stays you'll have. There's been changes in the law as to long-term care. So there's so many little things that you don't even think of. Small businesses, you over 30 people, you have to pay the fine or give insurance. If you have under 30,
right, and it's Obamacare911.com and available in bookstores everywhere. The Obamacare Survival Guide. Chris Ruddy, CEO and founder of Newsmax Media. Thank you, sir.
Steve, great being on with you.
My pleasure. Talk to you soon. Okay, folks, Chris Ruddy. Very, very, very intriguing piece. And I tell you, he's gotten a lot of people on the right, a lot of Republicans now changing and shifting their views. A very powerful column. All right, Steve Malzberg Show, folks, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Okay, this will interest anyone with diabetes or pre-diabetes. And what I'm about to tell you is pretty controversial, so you want to definitely consult your doctor first. But if diabetes concerns you, there's a toll-free number you need to call, 855-500-DIABETES. At that number, they reveal what they call the one weird spice that's probably in your kitchen right now and how it normalizes blood sugar levels. Now, what they say is people who have followed this plan exactly as they will explain it to you have not only normalized their blood sugar, but stopped taking their diabetes medications with their doctor's approval, of course. You get 3 specific actions to take right now, today, to get your blood sugar level under control in 4 weeks or less. Is it possible to reverse diabetes? 855-500-DIABETES and find out now. Check with your doctor, of course, because I'm not giving you medical advice here. But if you have diabetes or are worried about your blood sugar, I think you should call 855-500-DIABETES. 855-500-DIABETES.
Men, this is the time in your life when you have more freedom to travel, more time for leisure, including an active lifestyle, even renewed intimacy. The last thing you want is the hassle of an aging prostate. Frequent trips to the bathroom also keep you awake at night. But here's good news. Renowned physician Dr. David Brownstein believes that prostate concerns do not have to be an inevitable part of aging. As a result, Dr. Brownstein has recently developed Prostate Revive, the dietary supplement specifically formulated to help improve and sustain normal prostate function. Learn more about how you can receive a 30-day supply of Prostate Revive. Just cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit prostaterevive.com/special for complete details. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to a Healthy Prostate, while supplies last. Try Prostate Revive for 30 days at prostaterevive.com/special. That's prostaterevive.com/special.
This is the worst weather we've seen in quite some time, folks, and I don't see any end in sight. People have been calling in from across the state complaining their basements are flooding. One guy said he now has an indoor swimming pool in his basement. I told him he needs the waterproofing innovations from Basement Systems. If you want a dry basement or crawl space that will weather any kind of storm, you need the patented solutions from Basement Systems. You've seen them on home makeover shows throughout the country. With a lifetime warranty, every solution is custom designed for your basement. You can finally have that room you've always wanted with our total basement finishing system. Call now for a free estimate, and you'll never have to worry about storms like these again.
Call now for your free basement inspection at 800-516-9794, 800-516-9794. Learn how to waterproof your basement now. Call this number, 800-516-9794, 800-516-9794.
Wow, you look great. Thanks. I've lost some weight. What's your secret weapon? Actually, I do in fact have one. Really?
If you're looking for help in your weight loss efforts, remember this name, Metavio. It just may be the edge you've been looking for. Metavio is the nutritional weight loss breakthrough power-packed with 5 high-quality ingredients. Metavio supports healthy metabolism and promotes fat loss. It helps maintain your optimal weight and wellness when used as part of a healthy lifestyle. Now you can receive a 30-day supply of Metavio. Simply cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit themetavio.com/offer for complete details. Act now and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Practical Guide to Healthy Weight Management. Learn how you can try Metavio for 30 days at themetavio.com/offer. Learn how you can try Metavio for 30 days at themetavio.com/offer. themetavio.com/offer.
Breaking news and breaking hearts. Aww. This is the Steve Malzberg Show.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. Great interview with Chris Ruddy, and I you know what? I'm torn. I'm personally torn. The overriding point, I think, is the one that Chris is making. Why give the Democrats a way out? If 10 Democratic senators, including most of the ones that are up for re-election in red states, are saying, oh, please, Kathleen Sebelius, delay this, well, then why would we give them that leg up? Why, we, being the Republicans, why would they capitulate? Why would they want to go along with that? So from that standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. Now, as as Senator Ron Johnson said, he feels there's a responsibility. In other words, you can't be taxing people or fining people, whatever you want to call it, for something they can't sign up for. So, you have a kind of a responsibility to rein in and keep the chaos down normally. But this isn't normal. See, I agree with Chris here. I'm led to, in my opinion, is, the Republicans begged, and if you listen to the media, they shut down the government. They risked, defaulting on our debt to try to get some delay of this monstrosity. And Barack Obama and the Democrats said, no, no, no. It's settled law. It's passed by the House and Senate. It was approved by the Supreme Court as constitutional. 2 elections were fought on it. The whole thing is nonsense. But that's their argument. So now why should the Republicans say, yeah, let's delay it now that it'll help you? No, I'm torn, but I'm leaning towards agreeing with Chris. Absolutely, Chris Ruddy. Okay, folks. Juan Williams, and I don't know if Juan Williams thinks he has a role to play or if he really felt this and meant this. I can't imagine. But here he was on Fox on a panel. Listen to cut number 16. I'm sorry. Cut 28. I'm driving Will crazy. Cut 28.
Florida Blue terminating 300,000 policies because they don't meet the new Obamacare standards. Kaiser Permanente of California, 160,000 cancellations. These are people who had health insurance in the individual market, who are happy with it, and they're being kicked off because under the new Obamacare mandates, that doesn't meet it. And to pick up on what George said, House Speaker Boehner said, more people could actually lose health insurance in the month of October than sign up for it.
Okay, so that's Chris Wallace, Fox News Sunday yesterday. And here's Juan Williams' wonderful insight and response to what Chris Wallace just said. Here's cut 29.
I get the sense that people on the Republican side are enjoying this moment, but this is empty rhetoric. When you speak to the insurance executives in Florida and California, they say they're canceling those policies, Chris, because Obamacare has requirements, 10 categories or mandates for levels of coverage. The current policies don't meet them, so they have to cancel them.
I understand.
But they are extending offers to the very people who are losing them for better packages at lower costs with more benefits.
No, that's not true. It is not.
It is true.
No,
and let me just tell you something else that you said. You said, January 1, these people lose their coverage. In fact, the insurance companies are saying, we will make sure that on January 1, you have coverage. This is not the apocalypse.
Really? So Florida Blue and all these other companies that are canceling individual policies are guaranteeing these people that on January 1 they'll have coverage? Yeah, maybe they're offering them new policies, but at what cost? This is insane. I can't understand I don't want to say intellectual dishonesty of Juan Williams, but I don't understand the mindset of Juan Williams. Does he really believe this, or does he view his role as playing devil's advocate and being the odd man out there? Because how do you say what you're saying? How do you say it? Many people on the left are fessing up, as Ted Roll did and others, and stories are abounding every day with more individuals losing their policies because it doesn't measure up to the requirements of an Obamacare policy. You need maternity protection. You need baldness protection, even if you don't want it, as you'll hear right now. Let's go to cut number 30.
Look, what about this?
the president promised explicitly, we heard it on this program, if you like the coverage you have now, you can keep it, period.
Yes.
These hundreds of thousands of people evidently liked the policies they had because they kept paying for them. They're now being told they can't have those policies anymore, that they must have policies that involve coverage for things they may feel they don't need.
They're going to get better coverage, Britt, at potentially lower costs.
Whose idea of better coverage? Their idea or the government's?
Once they're offered it, it may be their idea. Right now, all the insurance company is saying is, we don't meet the requirements under Obamacare, and we're going to offer you a better deal.
No, you're going to offer you a government-mandated deal that may or may not be a better deal for the people involved. There are people or elderly people who are being required to pay for maternity coverage.
I mean, Juan, wake up, really. I mean, this is not a flattering role for you. I don't know anybody. So the insurance companies are now they're knocking people off their policies and they're forcing them into a better policy, a cheaper and better policy. Really? What, you get hit in the head and you wake up in like a Juan's utopia? I don't get this. Here's cut number 31.
This is we have to end this segment. I just want to point out that we had a couple of weeks ago a letter that a 62-year-old couple who owned their own business in Oregon had gotten under the Obamacare. They were losing their policy. The new policy, the cheapest policy they were being offered, the deductible was going to double to $5,000 a person. Visits to specialists, and one of them had to see a specialist, were going up from $35 a visit to $100 a visit, and their premium was going up. So the idea that they're going to get more for less, you know what? There's no free.
Yeah, that was Chris Wallace. By the way, Britt Hume was the one who took on Juan Williams. I should have alluded to that earlier. So, hey, you know what? This old couple, screw them. They don't understand. They're getting a better deal. Don't you see? Juan just said so. Barack Obama would tell you that. They may not realize it yet, but once this kicks in, they'll understand what a great deal it is. Yeah, okay. Where are we? What universe are they in? How do you close your eyes to what's going on around you? How do you tell people? I mean, Ted Rall, his premium goes from a $6. Wait, I got it right here. Do I have it right here or no? No. Yes, I do. $610 a month to $830. $250, $2,500 deductible to $3,500 deductible, and they were paying 80% of the difference. Now they're going to pay 50%. So in Juan Williams' world, that's a better policy and cheaper. When the sky is green and the grass is blue, what could I tell you? That's the way it is. Okay, folks, we're coming back. An investigative journalist in Washington, D.C. had her files taken in a raid. Steve Malzberg's show.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Attention seniors and baby boomers. A new website has been created just for you. SocialSecurity311.com. At SocialSecurity311.com, we reveal a weird trick that could help you add $152,000 to your Social Security payouts. For example, did you know how you file for Social Security can dramatically change the amount of money you collect? One simple step could add up to $1,000 to your monthly payouts. And other loopholes we found reveal 33 ways for big savings on your health care. At SocialSecurity311.com, you will also discover how you could save up to 50% on your groceries, along with 49 other ways to save as much as $50,000 starting today. Newsmax says this website is a critical resource for anyone over the age of 50. So go to SocialSecurity311.com now to find out how you could add extra money to your Social Security checks. That's SocialSecurity311.com. SocialSecurity311.com.
If you're a man over 40, your prostate could be forcing you to urinate frequently, even disrupting your sleep multiple times each night. You're not alone. Over half of men over 40 experience age-related prostate concerns. Fortunately, prominent medical doctor David Brownstein believes that aging prostate concerns are not inevitable. That's why Dr. Brownstein developed Prostate Revive, an advanced dietary supplement containing a unique blend of 15 ingredients designed to promote optimal prostate health. So men, as part of this new radio promotion, you now have the opportunity to claim your own 30-day supply of Prostate Revive, containing saw palmetto, beta-cytosterol, and numerous other prostate helpers. Just cover a $4.95 shipping and handling charge. Plus, if you act now, you'll also get a doctor's guide to a healthy prostate as a bonus gift. Please visit prostaterevive.com/radio for details on getting your 30-day supply of Prostate Revive and free report. That's prostaterevive.com/radio. Do something about those annoying age-related prostate concerns. Visit prostaterevive.com/radio now while supplies last.
Have you hit a brick wall with your weight loss? Does your weight management plan need an extra edge for success? If so, listen up. Metabio is the revolutionary weight loss breakthrough designed to help you reach your goal weight as part of your diet and exercise program. Metabio is the premium nutritional supplement power-packed with 5 high-quality ingredients. When used as part of a healthy lifestyle, each component is formulated to help you reach your goals and maintain your optimal weight and wellness. It supports healthy metabolism and promotes fat loss. Now, learn how you can try a 30-day supply of Metabio. Just cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit themetabio.com/special. Act now and also receive instant access to our downloadable special report, a practical guide to healthy weight management. Try it now at themetabio.com/special. That's the metabio.com/special. While supplies last. themetabio.com/special.
Attention hip implant patients. Are you in constant pain? Have you received a letter from your doctor about your implant? Have you had or need a revision surgery? Do you have high levels of metal, chromium, or cobalt in your blood? Over 90,000 hip implant devices have been recalled due to defects and failures resulting in revision or replacement surgery. If you have a recalled hip implant, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-460-0920 to see if your implant is affected by the recalls. If you or a loved one has a defective or recalled hip implant, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-460-0920. That's 800-460-0920. Protect your legal rights today. Call 800-460-0920. This is an advertisement, not valid in all states. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. iLawsuit.com is an advertising group that represents lawyers advertising their services and is a free matching service for consumers. It is not a law firm or lawyer referral service.
This is not your typical Screenfest talk show. No. This is the next generation of talk radio. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we all know about the case of James Rosen, where the Justice Department was tapping his phone and named him as I forget, a co-conspirator, whatever the heck it was, in a criminal investigation. I don't know if that case is still open and pending, but we have our next guest, who was twice nominated for the Pulitzer Prize while working at the Washington Times for investigative journalism. She did that for about 15 years. She's now writing freelance for Newsmax and for the Colorado Observer and others. Journalist Audrey Hudson joins us. Audrey, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's my pleasure. Okay, I think your story is one that is very important and needs to be told. And with this administration, it's another day, another scandal. But your home was raided in the middle of the night in August, and the subpoena, I think, was for guns or weapons or a potato launcher that your husband might have purchased several years back, and he had some trouble with the law, resisting arrest, and he technically wasn't allowed to have any weapon, and they used that as a pretense to take valuable, personal, confidential files from you. So why don't you explain it all to us?
Well, what happened was it was 4:30 in the morning, and they had a search warrant is what they had. The search warrant was for a potato launcher. That was the trivial excuse to get into the house.
And that's an extension on a gun kind of thing?
It's a launcher. It's a novelty item.
Okay.
Just like a golf ball launcher.
Right.
So my husband, he did buy a potato launcher about 5 years ago on a website, and it didn't work, and he no longer has it. But they used that as a pretext to get into the house, and then what they took without telling me were 5 files of mine on air marshal stories that I had written for the Washington Times that were very embarrassing to the government. And I didn't know that the files were gone from my office until they called me over a month later and said, "Oh, you can come pick them up now."
All right, but you got an indication that something smelled rotten when one of the searchers or people who came into your home asked you a question. If you were the same Audrey Hudson who had written a series of articles critical of air marshals in the past for the Washington Times, correct?
That's correct. That was the first thing that the Homeland guy said to me. Asked me if I was the same Audrey Hudson, and then he started dropping names and saying, "Oh, well, do you know so and so or so and so?" And I didn't. And he started asking me about other scandals that had plagued the agency, and then he disappeared. We weren't allowed to leave the kitchen, so I was not in my office when they pulled every single one of my boxes out of my closet and went through every file I had.
But they only took certain files.
5 files, exactly. They only took 5 files, and they all were labeled air marshals.
So I mean, based on what this person from Homeland said to you, and based on what they took, what conclusion does that lead you to?
That they were still trying to find out who my sources were.
And you did not...
And hoping to bust me in the meantime, because the Coast Guard has admitted in a statement since I went public, they admitted that yes, they did take the documents, that they turned it over to the TSA, which is basically the same Homeland agency that runs the air marshals, because there was a concern that it was a classified document. Well, they weren't stamped classified. They weren't classified at all. They were for official use only, as any government document is. And the only government document I had was an Inspector's General report that still had attached to it the Freedom of Information Act release, which I had requested it under. So for him to say that I just took it to make sure it was legitimate for you to have this document, that argument just doesn't hold water.
Right. All right. We're talking to Audrey Hudson, investigative journalist, a 2-time nominee for the Pulitzer Prize, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. And this is incredible stuff. And so even if, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, but even if they felt in their search for this potato launcher that they found a document of yours that and they for some reason they thought it was classified, would they have a right to take it, or would they have to go get another subpoena?
Absolutely not. Those files are protected under the Privacy Protection Act. It says that the government can only look at a reporter's notes or their work product under specific circumstances. And as you recall, after the incident with James Rosen, the procedure now is that you can't touch us unless the Deputy Attorney General signs off on it.
And as far as you know, yes, no? Did the deputy?
No, they had no. They did not come in with a subpoena. They had no subpoena for records. They had a search warrant to find the potato launcher,
which of course is insane. Since it happened 5 years prior, and since the one of the persons involved in the raid asked you if you were the same Audrey Hudson who wrote those stories, and they take your files on the sources of those stories. So, I mean, I know you were horrified, and I know that you feel that you've been let down by your government, correct?
It is gut wrenching. I mean, it really is. I'm afraid of our government. I'm ashamed of our government. I'm disappointed in their behavior in this.
Well, what could you do? I mean, last time you and I chatted, you were feeling out, or maybe were going to contact or be contacted by legal representation. I know they also, by the way, they also took Audrey's guns, your guns, not your husband, but your guns, correct?
Yes. Yeah, that's another issue, and I do have a lawyer for that to try to get my guns back, and I'll wage that battle over there. As far as stealing my documents, the Washington Times has a front page story today that they are pursuing legal action.
Okay, so on behalf of you, okay, because
and they've been in contact with me, and I'm hoping to get some attention on Capitol Hill because, number one, I'd like to get some protections for the whistleblowers.
Right, the people named in your files, correct?
Well, just because your name is in my file doesn't mean you're a whistleblower.
Right. All right, and so, but I think you had stated that you did not call the people that you were your whistleblowers or were your contacts because you feared that your phones might be tapped as well, right?
Well, after what happened to James Rosen and AP, that clearly they put a tap and trace on their phones to find out who their sources were, and I had no way was I going to call them. I didn't trust email, and the search warrant even stated that they had accessed my Facebook page.
All right. So, Audrey, okay, so I'm glad the Washington Times is representing you in this. We'll certainly follow this case. But what about your career? I mean, you're still a freelance, investigative journalist. How are you going to make calls? Are you afraid that you're tapped? Are you afraid to reach out to sources? Will sources now be afraid to talk to you?
I'm a very creative person. I'll figure. Hopefully, I can figure out something. I mean, obviously, is it going to impact my work? Of course, it is. It impacted James Rosen. It had a horrible impact on AP. Of course, it is. That's I know that's coming. This isn't going to be a surprise to me. But each time they come after a reporter, we just have to find creative ways to hopefully get around it, and hopefully it won't have an impact on my career because I love my job and I love what I do, and sources put a lot of faith in me to protect their identities, and that's my number one priority. And I'm also concerned that people who weren't sources just because their name might be in a file would be identified as that's even more concerning because it's like
guilt by association.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I mean,
hit the nail right on the head.
And the left likes to portray, Ted Cruz. He looks like McCarthy. He's McCarthy. He's the most hated man in America. But what this administration is doing, and that kind of guilt by association, is chilling. Just chilling.
It is chilling, and I'm very confident that if they do start a witch hunt of these guys will find a way to they might not come to me, but maybe they'll go to another reporter. I may lose the story, but I'm a realist. It's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, listen. Good.
Gotta prepare for it.
Good luck with this. And so a separate lawyer is gonna try to get your guns back, which they had no right to take away because you had a right to guns. You didn't have any violations.
That's what we're disputing. Yeah, there's no charges have been filed.
Well, I hope you get before Congress. How will you go about trying to do that? I mean, what's the likelihood of that?
Well, I've already been contacted by some members who want to talk about it.
Good.
So I'm going to talk about it with them.
Good, very good.
It was a good idea, and I saw their interest, and I'm absolutely going to do everything I can to help them.
Absolutely.
Especially on whistleblower protections.
Yep. Audrey, keep us informed. If there's no stories written about it, then give us a buzz and let us know because we'll definitely keep the public informed, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Take care. Audrey Hudson, ladies and gentlemen. Newsmax contributor, worked for the Washington Times for 15 years under the pretense, according to her story, under the pretense of the fact that her husband was in trouble with the law 25 years ago, resisting arrest. They found that 5 years ago he ordered a potato launcher online. And so they raided her house at 4 in the morning looking for the potato launcher. And that's what the subpoena was for. Armed guard, they came in a body armor and the whole thing, which I have no problem with, although I don't know why they waited 5 years. But then they asked her, are you the Audrey Hudson who wrote those stories critical of the federal air marshals all those years ago, 10 years ago after 9/11? She said yes. They then went down in her office, looked at tons of files, and took 5 files relating to those writings, those stories. And those files had names of sources. They had no subpoena, according to her, to take those files or to even look at her files. They took them. And she didn't even know they were gone until she got a call saying you could pick them up. What country is this if her story is as told? What country are we living in? What's going on? How come this isn't a big story today? How come I'm still talking about seeing on CNN women now allowed to drive a car in Saudi Arabia? Who cares? This is James Rosen and the AP all over again. If her story is true, and I have no reason to doubt it's true. So I don't know. Interesting stories here. Let's see. White House now admits that some people will lose their current health plans. Really? What made you admit that? Let's see. Florida woman's rate jumps from $54 a month to $591 a month. Thank you, Dr. Obama. Applications won't be used for immigration enforcement purposes. I can't. Alaska suspends Obamacare enrollments after signing up 3 people. Alaska signed up 3 people for Obamacare. 3. Count them. 1, 2, 3. All right. When we come back, I'm going to let you hear a little bit of how Saturday Night Live handled Obamacare. They had a woman imitating Kathleen Sebelius right at the top of the show. I only watched it because my son got home late and from a party, and he put it on. And we were cracking up, folks, cracking up. This is the butt of every joke in the country. But don't take it out on President Obama, because if you do, it's only because you can't stand a black man in the White House. I want you to remember that. All right, folks, you want to weigh in? 877-Newsmax, 877-639-7629, 877-639-7629. And we would love to hear from you right here on the Steve Malzberg Show. Also, in the next hour, we're going to talk to a Canadian writer, a musician, a comedian. He's made some comments about how feminism has made women less happy. Oh, how could you say that? And also, Ruben Navarrete, syndicated columnist, CNN contributor. Should the Republicans go along with immigration reform? We will talk about that with him. So still a lot ahead, and your calls, hopefully, right here. Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Okay, this will interest anyone with diabetes or pre-diabetes. And what I'm about to tell you is pretty controversial, so you want to definitely consult your doctor first. But if diabetes concerns you, there's a toll-free number you need to call, 855-500-DIABETES. At that number, they reveal what they call the one weird spice that's probably in your kitchen right now and how it normalizes blood sugar levels. Now, what they say is people who have followed this plan exactly as they will explain it to you have not only normalized their blood sugar, but stopped taking their diabetes medications with their doctor's approval, of course. You get 3 specific actions to take right now, today, to get your blood sugar level under control in 4 weeks or less. Is it possible to reverse diabetes? 855-500-DIABETES and find out now. Check with your doctor, of course, because I'm not giving you medical advice here. But if you have diabetes or are worried about your blood sugar, I think you should call 855-500-DIABETES. 855-500-DIABETES.
Hi, this is Mike Reagan. Folks ask me, what would Ronald Reagan do if he were with us today? I believe the first thing he'd do is stop Obamacare. Already it's in effect, with higher taxes, hidden fees, skyrocketing insurance rates, big Medicare cuts, and some insurance plans are hit with a 40% tax. Protect yourself by getting the Obamacare Survival Guide. It's already a #1 New York Times bestseller. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law, giving you the strategies, tips, and loopholes you need to know. If you're insured on Medicare, a business owner, a medical professional, just about anyone, you need this book.
Get the #1 bestseller, The Obamacare Survival Guide, at bookstores everywhere. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by going now to Obamacare311.com. Obamacare311.com. That's Obamacare311.com.
Do you suffer from joint discomfort? Contrary to what the experts may say, achy joints do not have to be a normal part of aging. Holistic doctor David Brownstein challenged conventional thinking to focus on natural solutions for joint health. As a result, Dr. Brownstein has recently developed Limbex, the premium nutritional supplement specifically formulated to support healthy joints and connective tissue. It's a new joint breakthrough formula containing 11 hand-picked nutrients. Learn more at limbexjoint.com/special and take the 30-day Healthy Joint Challenge. That's a 30-day supply of the Limbex Joint Supplement. All you pay is a $4.95 shipping fee. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to Happy, Healthy Joints at Any Age. You can do something about joint discomfort and flexibility. Learn how you can try it for 30 days at limbexjoint.com/special. That's LIMBEX joint.com/special. limbexjoint.com/special.
150 million people suffer from headaches. All you want is for the pounding in your head to stop. Migralex stops the pounding. Migralex was developed by a neurologist and founder of the New York Headache Center.
I'm neurologist Dr. Alex Malzberg. After studying and researching the human brain for 25 years, I've developed Migralex, which eliminates pounding headaches. It works for my patients, and I'm so convinced it will work for you. I don't just guarantee it, I put my name on it.
Dr. Malzberg's Migralex gets rid of headaches fast without harsh caffeine, sodium, or preservatives.
Migralex works unbelievably fast, and it's gentle on my stomach.
Find out how to get your free bottle of Migralex. Call 800-532-2967. Plus, if you're one of the first 100 callers, you'll also receive the Migralex Quick Tips to Headache Relief absolutely free. That's 800-532-2967. Or go to migralexrelief.com. MIGRALEX relief.com. Or call 800-532-2967.
Here's today's silver shortage update from Lear Capital.
Reports keep coming, the shortage is growing. Twice already this year, the U.S. Mint has run out. Last time this happened, the silver price jumped 40%. It's time to take advantage with this special offer from Lear Capital.
For a limited time, buy 20 new silver polar bear coins and get one free. The only 1.5 ounce coin on the market. It's minted with the finest silver, carries a government guarantee, and is eligible for IRAs. The silver polar bear is available exclusively from Lear Capital. But don't wait. Silver supplies are shrinking and availability is not guaranteed. This offer is limited to a minimum purchase of $5,000. Call right now. 800-634-0482. 800-634-0482. Call Lear Capital now. 800-634-0482.
The Steve Malzberg Show is just a bit different from the other radio shows. We have TV cameras. Watch the show at Newsmax.com or listen on your favorite radio station. Here's Steve Malzberg.
Hi, folks. Welcome back. At the top of the next hour, we're going to play for you Jay Carney today responding to Ed Henry's question about whether or not some people are going to actually lose their health care under Obamacare. And of course they are. I mean, of course, getting Carney to admit the obvious, the true, what's already happening, what's been happening, what will continue to happen is considered, a big deal. And it is, because they've been lying up until now. The president's been lying up until now. They're all lying up until now. And now Carney, I haven't heard it yet. We'll hear it together for the first time at the top of the next hour. So there was Kathleen Sebelius on Saturday Night Live, only it wasn't Kathleen Sebelius. So here's a part of what they did with mocking her to start Saturday Night Live last Saturday night. Cut 21.
Now, a lot of folks have been talking about our new healthcare enrollment website, how it's been crashing and freezing and shutting down and stalling and not working and breaking and sucking. Well, tonight, I have a number of friendly tips to help you deal with those technical problems. For example, have you tried restarting your computer? Sometimes it helps to turn the computer off and then turn it back on.
If you're missing the visual, you're missing a lot, because it's not a very flattering imitation of her. Her face looks kind of zombie-like, and it's a very good imitation, actually. And here's cut number 22.
So enjoy your new healthcare system, America. And be sure to like us on Facebook. Oh, look at that. We're already up to 3 likes. And I like that enthusiasm. IT, can we get someone from IT in here? No problem.
All right. It started flashing where on the Facebook page it had 3 likes. It started flashing virus downloading. So she called IT, and the guy comes in with a baseball bat and just demolishes the computer. And he says, "That's fixed." Yeah, and you know what? It's really not much better than that. It's really not that far-fetched. That's about it. And I just told you, there were 2 people who signed up in Alaska. They just discontinued registration. 2 people in Alaska. And I don't see it getting any better. It's just insane. Just insane. Now, Here, listen to cut number 23. This is Bill Kristol smacking down, as they say, Howard Dean, figuratively speaking. Again, Howard Dean, last week we played you, Dean, blaming Republicans. How on earth could Republicans tried to stop this from happening? They failed. It didn't work. They failed. They shut down the government. You know the whole story. So Republicans failed. Nothing was delayed by the Republicans. Yet here's Bill Kristol smacking down Howard Dean, who insists Republicans are still to blame somehow. Cut 23.
The Republicans bear some responsibility for this because they oppose and oppose and oppose. They actually did defund part of Obamacare. They didn't. The 44 votes they took to kill it didn't do anything, but there was some stuff attached to riders. You know, everything that the Obama administration has to do is to go upstream against Republicans who wanted to kill this program no matter what. And there is some responsibility that they bear as well.
President Obama said over and over in selling this plan in 2009 and 2010, if you like your current plan, you can keep it. That is false. About 15 million people are being told your current plan, which many of them do like. They purchased appropriate plans for themselves. They're being told they can't keep it. They're being forced into these exchanges, which A, don't work right now, and B, in which they will get a plan less suited to them that will cost more. That's just a fact. And I think that's the big political story, more than the website. The big political story is that President Obama said over and over again, if you like it, you can keep it, and that is not true.
That's absolutely not true. But where's the logic in Howard Dean? What the heck is he talking about? Republicans are to blame somewhat because they voted to defund Obamacare in the House. It didn't go anywhere. What do you mean they're to blame? This is just lie through your teeth. I hate to say this because we know who used this. I'm not comparing Howard Dean to Hitler or Goebbels, but we know what the Nazi philosophy was. Repeat a lie long enough and people will believe it. I'm not comparing them to Hitler. I'm just saying that they're using the same kind of PR tactic, if you will. Just lie and lie and lie and lie. You know, hey, Chris Wallace, what do you mean there have been negotiations in the past over raising the debt ceiling? I think something's wrong with your history, Chris Wallace. That's what Lou, the Treasury Secretary, said. He looked at Chris Wallace and said, no, Chris, 1 and 1 is 6. I don't understand how you don't see that, Chris. You know, just keep lying. That's what they do. That's the strategy. Keep on lying. Sebelius is still saying that the glitch, some glitch, was caused because so many people overwhelmed the site. Nonsense. Lie. It's all a lie. Now, when we come back, we're going to hopefully be able to set up, which means I'll be sending Will an email, the video of Jay Carney going at it with Ed Henry. Not going at it necessarily, but admitting that some people will lose their health care coverage. It's like admitting that, yeah, yesterday was Sunday. Yeah, okay, I admit it. You got me. Yesterday was Sunday. You broke me. Yeah, okay. It's happening. We all know it. So who's the last to admit it? Obama's spokesman. Of course. Because when you're a bald-faced liar, or you work for one, you lie till the bitter end. And unfortunately, this is not the bitter end for this. So anyway, we'll come back right here for hour number 3 of the Steve Malzberg Show on Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Okay, this will interest anyone with diabetes or pre-diabetes. And what I'm about to tell you is pretty controversial, so you want to definitely consult your doctor first. But if diabetes concerns you, there's a toll-free number you need to call, 855-500-DIABETES. At that number, they reveal what they...
If your prostate is giving you problems and your doc says it's just part of getting older, be wary. Renowned physician and author Dr. David Brownstein thinks this is baloney. He's discovered a link between aging and prostate health and believes prostate concerns do not have to be an inevitable part of aging. That's why he created Prostate Revive.
Hi, I'm Dr. David Brownstein. I personally formulated Prostate Revive to include the most essential natural ingredients available to help promote a healthy prostate gland and optimal urinary function.
The producers of Dr. Brownstein's Prostate Revive are so thrilled with the positive feedback from satisfied customers that for a limited time, they are willing to send you your first month's supply free. Plus, call now and you'll also receive Dr. Brownstein's special report, A Doctor's Guide to a Healthy Prostate. For details on getting your free bottle, call 1-800-596-REVIVE. That's 1-800-596-REVIVE. Take control with Prostate Revive. Call now while supplies last to claim your risk-free bottle at 1-800-596-REVIVE.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names.
Really? Yeah.
They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
If you're struggling to find reliable senior living information for your mom or dad, then call or go online to get the free help you need during this turbulent time. Call now, 800-908-1254, 800-908-1254.
When you were younger, you probably never considered your heart health. But cardiologist Dr. Chauncey Crandall knows from experience that taking steps to care for your heart becomes more crucial as the decades pass, if you want to keep this vital organ ticking smoothly for years to come. That's why Dr. Crandall recently developed Cardio Advanced, a nutritional supplement containing 12 special ingredients, all selected to help improve and maintain your heart health and normal cholesterol levels. The flagship of this exclusive formula, esterified plant sterols, may help lower your risk of heart disease when taken as part of a diet low in cholesterol and fat. And great news, now you have the opportunity to try a 30-day supply of Cardio Advanced. Simply cover a $4.95 shipping and handling charge. Plus, if you act right now, you'll also receive a free doctor's guide to a healthy heart as a special bonus. Please visit cardioadvanced.com/radio for complete details on claiming your 30-day bottle of Cardio Advanced and free report. That's cardioadvanced.com/radio. Life is too precious to ignore your heart health. Visit cardioadvanced.com/radio now while supplies last.
A hot new book by Craig Smith argues that the greenback is now at high risk thanks to our spendthrift politicians. Mark Twain said the truth is stranger than fiction. The same is true of the Great Debasement, which began a century ago with the creation of the Federal Reserve and income tax. The result, today's dollar retains just 2 cents of its original buying power. Yes, progressive politicians have engineered the largest wealth confiscation in history, creating in essence a fourth branch of government. Learn what must be done to preserve your money if the dollar crashes. The good news is Swiss America is offering the Great Debasement, a $20 value free of charge for this special radio offer.
800-818-3967, 800-818-3967, 800-818-3967. Call Swiss America now for a free DVD. 800-818-3967.
800-460-0920. This is an advertisement, not valid in all states. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. iLawsuit.com is an advertising group that represents lawyers advertising their services and is a free matching service for consumers. It is not a law firm or lawyer referral service.
Wow, you look great. Thanks. I've lost some weight. What's your secret weapon? Actually, I do in fact have one. Really?
If you're looking for help in your weight loss efforts, remember this name, Metabio. It just may be the edge you've been looking for. Metabio is the nutritional weight loss breakthrough power-packed with 5 high-quality ingredients. Metabio supports healthy metabolism and promotes fat loss. It helps maintain your optimal weight and wellness when used as part of a healthy lifestyle. Now you can receive a 30-day supply of Metabio. Simply cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit themetabio.com/offer for complete details. Act now and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Practical Guide to Healthy Weight Management. Learn how you can try Metabio for 30 days at themetabio.com/offer. That's the metabio.com/offer. Hurry, only while supplies last at themetabio.com/offer.
Former NSA Director Michael Hayden lashed out at the media for its coverage of what he described as a non-story. Tom Mazzy, the former director of the MoveOn.org Washington group, tweeted what he claimed were excerpts of phone conversations General Hayden had on a train last week. The duo posed for this photo after, covered widely by the media.
I have some experience, and frankly, I welcome the debate that all this is going to engender, but it should be an informed debate. And so I answered the questions.
And finally, this was the scene in Key West, Florida this weekend for the island's annual Fantasy Fest celebration. About 10,000 people dressed up in costumes and took part in the Masquerade March through Key West's historic Old Town. The 10-day costuming festival ended Sunday. And remember, for more exclusive interviews and content, stay with Newsmax TV. I'm Kathleen Walter, and this has been your Newsmax Now update for October 28th. Take care.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Broadcasting live from the Newsmax studios, this is the Steve Malzberg Show. Be a part of the action by calling toll-free 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Or email Steve at malzbergshow@newsmax.com. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, folks, welcome back. Hour number 3 of the. That's my car. I pull up at a split second before I take to the microphone, so you hear the. Yeah, that's me. Anyway, welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. Hour number 3. Motorcycle, car, whatever. Just in. According to the Associated Press, security officials and residents of Yemen's capital say that a large explosion followed by heavy gunfire have been heard near the U.S. Embassy in capital of Yemen. So they did not know how close to the blast site was to the embassy. So just bringing you that, hoping it's nothing, but just letting you know that there was an explosion heard. Of course, Yemen fighting a war against Al-Qaeda, his local branch, considered to be one of the most dangerous offshoots of Al-Qaeda in the world. All right, Jay Carney, I told you. I teased it. I plugged it. I promoted it. What else did I do with it? I screeched to a halt with it in my car. And I promised you would hear Jay Carney grilled by Ed Henry. Actually, he tap dances around the question. But I want you to hear, let's set the stage. Here's David Axelrod, former, of course, White House official with President Obama, of course. And here is what he had to say on Morning Joe about keeping your plan, losing your plan. Cut 25.
There have been website disasters in private industry as well. So let's
David, none of them spent $800 million building a website.
Let's push that aside. You talk about transparency. This is the first
website.
Let's push that aside. You talk about transparency. This is the first plans, online in front of you.
Except with your old plan, because you're no longer eligible to buy your own plan, which was the #1 promise the president made to the American people.
You are
You cannot get what you have.
Most people are going to keep their own plan, Senator, and you know that.
That's not true.
Most people will keep their own plans. Hey, the president said nobody is going to lose their private insurance. If you like your insurance, you can keep it, period. Now it's like, most people will keep it. The millions who can't, screw them. That's the attitude now. So Ed Henry refers or alludes to this statement by Axelrod in his questioning of Carney. This is 2.5 minutes. You really don't get the full answer, but here it is. Hit it.
The president, when he was trying to get the law passed, repeatedly said, if you currently have health insurance, you'll be able to keep your plan. This morning, David Axelrod was pressed on that point and said the vast majority, will get to keep their plans. He no longer works at the White House. From that podium, will you admit that when the president said, if you have a plan, you'll get to keep it, that was not true?
Well, let's be clear. What the president said and what everybody said all along is that there are going to be changes brought about by the Affordable Care Act that create minimum standards of coverage, minimum services that every insurance plan has to provide, so that an individual shopping for insurance, when he or she purchases that insurance, knows that maternity care is covered, that preventive services are covered, that mental health services are covered, that the insurance policy you buy doesn't have an annual limit or a lifetime limit, that there are out-of-pocket expenses capped at a maximum level, both annually and for a lifetime. So it's true that there are existing health care plans on the individual market that don't meet those minimum standards and therefore do not qualify for the Affordable Care Act. There are some that can be grandfathered if people want to keep insurance that's substandard. But what is also true is that all Americans who have insurance on the existing individual market will now have numerous options available to them, and 6 out of 10 will pay less than $100 per month in premiums for better insurance. It's not even an apples-and-apples comparison. This is qualitatively better insurance coverage than what was available in many cases to Americans around the country in the insurance market, by the way, that was so lightly regulated that you often didn't know what you were getting. So you could sign an insurance policy, get that plan, pay a lot of upfront money, premiums, out-of-pocket expenses, and then find out that because of the fine print, it doesn't cover the actual condition that you have. That will no longer be the case. So I get what the effort here is, but the fact is that
the president said one thing, and you're admitting that that's not going to be the case, that not everyone's going to keep their plan. They will admittedly wind up probably with better insurance in the long run, and so they may be healthier. That should be said. But the president sold it as, if you have a plan, you'll get to keep it, and that's not true.
Okay, so that was it. I don't know where he admitted it. They said he admitted it, but you could see. Well, why don't you just say admit it? Why don't you just tell American people what's happening? They know what's happening. You think they're stupid enough to be bamboozled? Stupid enough to be okey-doked by the spokesman for the president of the United States? I mean, he looks pathetic up there. He sounds pathetic up there. He is pathetic up there. Enough with the lies. And Ed Henry, I hope Ed Henry was just trying to facilitate friendliness and a relationship, and by saying, admittedly, they'll wind up with better insurance. How do you know they'll wind up with better insurance, Ed? As a matter of fact, listen to this, or as Wolf Blitzer would say, no, get this. Good luck. Not only will you have to navigate, this according to a story on FoxNews.com, not only will you have to navigate for the technical problems that have plagued the site, but in most states, those running the exchanges are not posting ratings that could give shoppers a clear sense of how good the various plans are. The consumer ratings are called for in Obamacare, a.k.a. the Affordable Care Act. They would be provided by a respected independent company, allowing consumers to judge health plans by treatment outcome, service, and consumer satisfaction. And now they've decided it will reflect poorly on the insurance exchanges if some companies were rated and some weren't. And some were rated. Isn't that the point of ratings? Some are rated, some aren't. Some are rated higher, some are rated lower. Some get endorsements, some don't. Isn't that the point of ratings? And it's in the law. But they decided they're not going to do it. So you idiots out there, that's us. I'm an idiot too, according to them. You idiots out there, You don't have the right to know, which according to independent experts who know, which is a better plan, which is a worse plan. No, you decide on your own. I mean, without any help. Why let independent experts weigh in at all? It would be like if you go to Schwab.com and you have an account or any of these brokerage houses where they, you could look for how other, how they rate a stock, how other experts, other stock brokerages rate a stock. Not fair. What if somebody doesn't like the stock? Then it doesn't reflect well on the stock. That's not fair. What are you talking about? These policies should be rated so consumers could have at least an idea from a professional. And for him to say most people are going to get insurance for less than $100 a month. We've heard from people and person after person and story after story. Have you heard one person say they're getting insurance for less than $100 a month? Who? Who? And what kind of deductible do they have for less than $100 a month? And are they going to be paid? Are they going to get co-paid 50% or 80%? That doesn't matter. It's $100 a month. Oh, okay. Deductible, co-payment. Shh. Don't mention those words. Do you understand how they're lying to you constantly? Constantly. All right. When we come back, we're going to switch gears a little bit. I'll pull my car up again. And we'll switch gears. Canadian writer, musician, and comedian Gavin McInnes will join me. It says right here, we'll join Steve. It says it right here. That must be me. We'll join Steve to talk about his explosive comments that feminism has made women less happy. Oh, them's fighting words to some of those feminists out there. You better watch when you say that. They'll start calling you all kinds of names, accusing you of all kinds of hatred of women. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. What could you do? All right, and then later in the hour, Ruben Navarrete, CNN contributor, syndicated columnist, will talk about Republicans and immigration right here on the Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Okay,
Do you owe the IRS? Do you have unfiled tax returns? Have you received a wage garnishment or bank levy? Maybe a lien has been filed against you. OMG Tax can help you with all your IRS tax problems. Don't wait another second. Take action now. Call my team at OMG Tax. Honest and professional, we don't make false promises. If you owe back taxes or if the IRS is garnishing your paycheck, you need help now. OMG Tax can help you get your life back to normal. If you're serious about handling your tax matter, call OMG Tax now and get the peace of mind you deserve. Don't let the IRS take your next paycheck. Stop waiting and call our team at OMG Tax. OMG Tax has a straightforward, no-nonsense approach and has helped many Americans resolve their IRS nightmare. Call OMG Tax now.
Call 1-800-255-6485. That's 1-800-255-6485. 800-255-6485.
If your prostate is giving you problems and your doc says it's just part of getting older, be wary. Renowned physician and author Dr. David Brownstein thinks this is baloney. He's discovered a link between aging and prostate health and believes prostate concerns do not have to be an inevitable part of aging. That's why he created Prostate Revive.
Hi, I'm Dr. David Brownstein. I personally formulated Prostate Revive to include the most essential natural ingredients available to help promote a healthy prostate gland and optimal urinary function.
The producers of Dr. Brownstein's Prostate Revive are so thrilled with the positive feedback from satisfied customers that for a limited time, they are willing to send you your first month's supply free. Plus, call now and you'll also receive Dr. Brownstein's special report, A Doctor's Guide to a Healthy Prostate. For details on getting your free bottle, call 1-800-596-REVIVE. That's 1-800-596-REVIVE. Take control with Prostate Revive. Call now while supplies last to claim your risk-free bottle at 1-800-596-REVIVE.
Heart disease is the biggest killer disease in America, and this doesn't surprise me. We are addicted to starches, sugars, fatty meats, and salt. People who live in countries with little heart disease eat very differently. One way some people stay heart healthy is by following what is known as the caveman or Stonehenge diet, so named because of its similarity to the way our prehistoric ancestors ate. People who follow this type of diet live off local fruits and root vegetables and get their protein mostly from fish and wild game they shoot themselves. Now, since most of us don't hunt or fish for all our protein, here are some simple tips on how you can start to eat like a caveman, modern day style. First, fill up on fruits and vegetables. Eat them first and you'll be less hungry. Feast on fish, which is rich in nutrients but not in calories. Choose fatty fish like mackerel, herring, sardines, and salmon, which are rich in heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids. Get out and go for a walk. Remember, our ancestors were hunters and gatherers, so they didn't spend their time sitting in front of a TV or computer all day. If you live more like a caveman or a cave woman, your heart will love you for it. I'm Dr. Chauncey Crandall, and thank you for watching this Heart Health Minute. Remember, it's never too late to prevent or reverse heart disease. Right now, I invite you to discover your own risk for heart disease or even a heart attack by taking my quick, free online quiz at www.simplehearttest.com.
Get off the sidelines and be a part of the show. Call Steve toll-free at 1-877-Newsmax. That's 1-877-639-7629. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we have addressed this issue as I welcome you back to the Steve Malzberg Show. We've addressed this issue many times with feminists and with people like Christina Hoff Sommers, who wrote the book Who Stole Feminism, talking about both sides of the feminist issue. And, you know, I am of the opinion that society is very different than it was when I was growing up, and I don't think that it's necessarily for the better. Now, you could call me whatever names you want, or you could call our next guest those same names, or worse, if you like, because he's probably used to it by now after saying what he said, which, you know, you judge for yourself. We welcome in Gavin McInnes. He is the co-founder of Vice, which he is no longer at that publication. Left it several years ago. But welcome anyway, Gavin. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Good to be here.
Good to have you. Okay, so you caused quite a stir with some remarks that you made talking about, I think you were referring or addressing it to women in general who claim that they could be childless and happy. And I couldn't agree with you more as far if you mean that, you know, feminism, at least one kind, has given women the impression that, A, they don't need a man, or, you know, they could have a child and without a man, or they don't need a child, or they don't need a man at all. And it's basically all the same. They don't need a man. And, you know, their objective is to climb to the top of the corporate ladder. And if they do have a kid, well, get a nanny. The nanny could raise the kid while you climb to the top of the corporate ladder. I just think it's messed up society.
And you know what? Just as a total side note, even that is sort of depraved and unethical, this idea of importing nannies from the third world. They've got kids back at home, and there's a feminist book, actually, called Global Woman by Barbara Ehrenreich, the woman who did Nickel and Dime, and she investigates all these nannies, say, from the Philippines who are here and who have abandoned their children back there, and it's like we are importing love from other countries and, you know, denying it back in the third world. So once again, and I can give a million examples, these feminists are hurting the people they purport to help. They're hurting the cause they purport to help. And definitely with the suffragettes, they definitely have a history where they were needed. But in 2013, my experience both in the workforce and amongst my peers who are my age, 40-something, and want to have kids, I see nothing but harm.
Yeah, okay, well, explain the harm that you see.
Okay, first of all, I see women in the workforce. I see, and this, I cited a study when I was talking about that said feminism has made women unhappy overall. And that was a well-established study. Lou Dobbs discussed it on CNN. It was all over the news a while ago. And this subject has been well-researched. There was a New York article, New York Magazine, called The Feminist Housewife. There's a Harvard study called The Myth of Having It All. So what I was saying was not radical. But I just talked about my personal experience. I find a lot of women in this workforce don't seem like they sincerely want to be there, while I acknowledge that plenty do, but just daring to concede that a lot of them are sort of wondering what they're doing there was blasphemous. And then on top of that, I recognize that a lot of my friends are using fertility drugs and other things to try to reverse the clock because no one told them that it's hard to have a kid after 35.
Yeah, what I've noticed is obviously I look at our kids, I look at the families. I think who wrote the book? Was it the CEO of not Google, but one of these big companies? I forget her name. You probably know her better than me. She was on 60 Minutes a few months ago, and both her and her husband are billionaires. They both work, but they always manage to have at least one of them home. Not always. They sometimes manage to have one of them home to have dinner with the kids. I mean, what is the goal? What is the goal? Now, there are women who have to work, and I want to make that perfectly clear. There are women who have to work.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but let's not even take that for granted.
There are women who have to work.
Like you're being benevolent to the working class, so it's a fashionable thing. But I've been, embroiled in this debate now for the past 7 days since daring to spout those hate facts.
Yeah.
But even that, I don't want to take anything for granted in a debate. And I'm thinking about my childhood, which was definitely middle class. We probably lived on the equivalent today of $35,000 a year, and that was middle class back then.
No, but Gavin, you had a mom and a dad?
I had a mom and a dad.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is there are women who are single and have to work. Either they have a child, they don't have a child, and maybe their husband died. So there are some women who have to work.
Okay, well, widows are a very rare exception. The majority of single mothers chose that life, and that is obviously terrible, and it is rough. No one's denying it's rough, but let's stop taking this New York Timesian philosophy where we glorify that, and we all but encourage it now. I just saw a magazine. It was, I think it was a Times supplement, and it was all about these unorthodox families. And it was these couples that have adopted kids with Down syndrome, and one of them had adopted an 18-year-old black kid from the ghetto who had just got out of jail, and all these heroes, basically. And then there was a single mom who inseminated herself to have twins. And you think, no. You don't belong in that group.
Right.
You're not a hero.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. We're talking to Gavin McInnes, a Canadian writer, musician, comedian, and co-founder of Vice here on the Steve Malzberg Show. But you take it further, and this is what you talk about how, and I don't necessarily agree with everything you said, either in what you wrote about or said and what you've said now, but I do agree. I'm not running away from you, but I do agree with the premise and the concept, and also this. We're feminizing our little boys. You can't play tag in school here in this country. You can't play dodgeball because someone might get hurt. You can't win in a game in a Little League because somebody's feelings will get hurt. They're trying to feminize boys. Anything that's considered macho or masculine from a young age, they're told don't do it. And you talk about that as well.
Well, that's the beauty of the libertarian, the conservative, the Republican mindset is it says, I think I know what's best for everybody, but I'm not going to impose it on anyone because I could be wrong. Whereas the liberal mindset today is it's all for the greater good. I'm going to start with this concept of equality and just enforce it on you. So children are all the same. Boys and girls are the same. So if a boy doesn't want to be a princess, I'm going to stick a princess dress on him. And if he points his finger like a gun, I'm going to expel him.
Right, suspend him from school. Listen, we're up against a hard break. Gavin, I hope you'll come back, sir. Interesting conversation.
I'd love to.
All right, thank you very much. Gavin McInnes, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Steve Malzberg Show. It is interesting. Very interesting. You have the guts to speak out, and, you get tabbed as something wrong with you, or worse, a hater, as he said. And, I think there are women who have to work, but I think there are women who make, in my view, you can't have it all. You can't be a good mother and work all day by choice, so you can have the third car or the bigger house and have the nanny raise the kid, and then, and then think that you're the best mother in the world. It doesn't work. The poor kid. Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and radio.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Larry works on the construction site when he's not held up with constipation. Mary sits all day at a desk, which does little to relieve gas and bloating. You can't schedule abdominal discomfort, but you can help alleviate it with Bactipro. Developed by holistic medical doctor David Brownstein, Bactipro is the fiber probiotic supplement that comes in the form of an easy-to-eat, tasty wafer. It includes the most essential ingredients necessary to help support your healthy digestive and immune function. Experience the results. Learn how you can receive a 30-day supply of Bactipro. Just visit Bactipro.com/offer. All you cover is a $4.95 shipping fee. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to Probiotics and Your Health. Do something about your digestive health now. Get your 30-day supply at Bactipro.com/offer. That's BACTIPRO.com/offer. Limited time only. Bactipro.com/offer.
Do you have trouble remembering things you've known for years? Do you want to maintain your mental edge, support your memory, focus, and attention? After extensive research, Dr. Russell Blaylock discovered 4 essential nutrients that help sustain optimal brain function. Dr. Russell Blaylock then personally formulated Crescio, the dietary supplement containing these 4 brain boosters that promote brain cognitive health, improve learning and retention. Crescio supports brain circulation and provides antioxidant protection. And now you can receive a 30-day supply of Crescio. All you pay is a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit Crescio.com/special. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, Nature's Brain Boosters, Essential Nutrients for Peak Mental Performance. Give your brain the healthy support it needs. Learn how you can receive your 30-day supply at Crescio.com/special. That's CRESCEO.com/special. Crescio.com/special.
If you are successful at what you do, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, a business owner, or you have a great career, you understand the concept of protecting yourself. Well, are you protecting yourself, your family, and your assets with quality term life insurance? Consider these possible rates. A man age 45 non-tobacco user could obtain $1 million of coverage for as little as $75 a month, and this rate is fixed for the next 10 years. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. A man age 50 non-tobacco user may be able to obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $115 a month, and this rate is fixed for the next 20 years. We have great rates for smokers too. Call the Term Lifeline now. 800-430-1309, 800-430-1309, 800-430-1309.
Bad credit card debt happens to good people. Credit card companies lure you in with low introductory rates or low minimum payments, and before you know it, you owe thousands of dollars in credit card debt. It has happened to millions of good people just like you. But here's the good news. Thanks to a powerful program now approved, anyone with $2,000 or more in credit card debt can cut their credit card payments up to half and even reduce or eliminate interest charges altogether. That's right. Our nationwide nonprofit program is helping U.S. residents cut their credit card payments. Call 800-613-3159 now. The call and information are free. We've helped over 500,000 people with their credit card debt, and now we can help you. Call 800-613-3159 to see how this powerful nonprofit program can work for you. Bad credit card debt happens to good people. Get free of credit card debt today. Call 800-613-3159. That's 800-613-3159. Again, 800-613-3159.
Microphones hot. Satellite link established. Studio lights illuminated. Cameras rolling. Audio and video encoders firing ones and zeros. Internet stream. Streaming. The most technology advanced radio show is on the air. Here's the captain of this enterprise, Steve Malzberg.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, while we try to get a hold... All right, ladies and gentlemen, while we try to get a whole tribute tour, I want to start, hopefully we could get through it. I want to start with something that took place on Bill Maher's show on HBO. Now, I have told you over and over and over and over and over again, I do not have HBO. I would not subscribe to that network. I would not pay Bill Maher's salary, and several other shows on there which I have not liked in the past and do not like now. But that aside, here's Bill Maher. The one issue that he's not afraid to speak up on and speak out about, that I agree with him on to an extent, is speak up on and speak out about, that I agree with him on to an extent, is Okay. We'll do that in the next segment. But right now, let's go to Ruben Navarrete, who joins us. Hello, Ruben.
Yes, hi. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. CNN contributor and a syndicated columnist. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what you think might happen, as we're all focused on healthcare and Obamacare and have been for quite some time, even back during the break before Labor Day. And I think that that's one of the problems here. I think that the town hall meetings and the urging of the constituents to all the Republicans that went out and met with their people were all about Obamacare. Hardly anybody brought up immigration reform. So I think now a lot of Republicans are starting to think, well, hey, wasn't that big a deal, so we could get this through. Do you think that the Republicans will or should proceed with this?
I don't think the Republicans are of one mind on this issue, and neither are the Democrats. There are Democrats who are split on immigration, and Republicans are split on immigration. And the split on the Republican side, you have some strong business-driven Republicans who are hearing from businesses that can't find Americans to take some of these jobs, and they need a steady workforce, a dependable workforce. The dairy industry, the agricultural industry, the construction industry. And then you have another element in the Republican Party that worries about the cultural changes that are going on in our cities, and so many cities turning into little Mexicos. It's freaking them out, as demographics tend to do with some people. And they're voicing their concerns, as you say, at town hall meetings and elsewhere. So the Republicans don't have one constituency. They have two on this issue, and so do Democrats.
It's interesting. Marco Rubio, who was part of the gang of whatever it was, 6 or 8 in the Senate, I think 8. Yeah, and they passed a comprehensive immigration reform bill, much to my chagrin, with the overwhelming Republican support. Now he says, I don't want the House to pass that. We should do it piecemeal. To what do you attribute Rubio's seeming flip-flop?
Well, this bill has changed a lot since Rubio and the other 7 conceived of it. There was a border surge written up by 2 Republican senators, border surge amendment. It took the 20,000 border patrolmen and doubled it to 40,000. It erected 700 more miles of border fence. And so I think that there have been some changes. A lot of folks on the left who used to support the bill no longer do. I don't think Rubio can really claim fathership over the bill anymore. It's a whole different animal now. But I think Rubio also sees some of what the fire that Ted Cruz has caught, taking a hard line against any kind of reform effort. And I think Rubio's a little concerned if he decides to run for president. Where's that constituency going to come from? There are Republicans out there who used to like Rubio a whole lot, and then on immigration, they don't like him anymore. So I think he's a bit confused about what he wants to do and where he wants to go from here.
To me, as a Republican, I never understood this Republican fascination with immigration reform. The last election, national election for president, they polled Hispanics when they came out of the voting booths. I think it was a Pew Hispanic poll, Pew Center, whatever. And they found that immigration reform ranked about 4th or 5th on their list of priorities and concerns. So this myth that, if the Republicans don't give immigration reform or pass it or view it as an impediment to it, they're going to lose the Hispanic vote. That, and no matter how far the Republicans go, but if they don't put in, for instance, allowing the gay spouses of illegals to come in and join them, they'll always, no matter how far they go, as soon as it's passed, as soon as it's signed into law, the Republicans and Obama will demonize this. No matter how far they go, as soon as it's passed, as soon as it's signed into law, the Republicans and Obama will demonize this up.
Yeah, this is a really bad issue for Republicans, the same way that Obamacare is a bad issue for Democrats. I'm of the opinion that Obamacare is a disaster for the country and that it's going to be a disaster for the Democratic Party for a long, long time. And Democrats don't know how to wrestle that beast of Obamacare to the ground. Anywhere it comes up bad for them. Likewise with immigration for Republicans, the shoe's on the other foot. Immigration comes up bad for Republicans because if you do nothing and, go ahead, do nothing, in which case you have changing demographics, you have 50,000 new Hispanics turning 18 voting age every month. You have, in every presidential election, there's been another 2 million people who have voted. To my chagrin, 70% of them vote for Democrats, 71% voted for Barack Obama. He didn't deserve a single percentage point. He got 71 percentage points. I think Republicans make this way too easy on Democrats. I think they play into the hands of Chuck Schumer, Harry Reid, and others who really don't have any scruples and don't have the best interests of Hispanics at heart. Republicans have played into their hands, made it so easy to be demonized on this issue when there is some sort of logical compromise that doesn't sound overly punitive and acknowledges the simple truth that there are jobs in this country that Americans will not do anymore.
And we're talking to Ruben Navarrete, syndicated columnist and CNN contributor here on the Steve Malzberg Show. And I'm glad you said a lot of what you said. In addition to the however many millions or the thousands are turning 18 and voting age, this immigration reform estimates are that 30 million by 2020 will be in this country, and 95 to 98 or 99% of them are going to vote Democrat. But let me ask you this. What is it?
It's not all of them will vote Democrat. Here's the thing. Here's where Latinos are always going to lose out with Republicans and vice versa. If you go up to Mexican Americans who've been in this country for several generations, they're brand loyal to the Democratic Party. There's no question. You go to South Texas, you go to South Phoenix, Arizona, you go to L.A. But if you get somebody who is just here as a recent immigrant from Guatemala, from Mexico, from wherever, they start off with a clean slate, and they're willing to give the Republican Party a chance. But if Republicans act like jerks, and that's the nicest word I can come up with on this issue, then you're going to scare off those ready voters,
But so are you saying that their priority is number 1 or 2 immigration reform, whereas the typical Hispanic voter, it's down to 4 or 5? And again,
that's good. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Because here from my point of view, I'm a Mexican American born in this country. Call me an American Mexican, whatever. The fact is, I was born in this country. My parents were 2 and 3 of my 4 grandparents were. It is going to be sort of a marginal issue for me, but for Mexican Americans or Mexican immigrants who come here more recently or have relatives who fall into this boat, it is a big issue for them, and it does poll like 1 or 2. You're right. Here's another thing. If all is good and all's quiet and the water's calm, the economy, jobs, healthcare are all more important issues. If you go to Arizona, when the flare-up occurred in 2010 over SB 1070, suddenly that issue that was number 4 or 5, it sprang to number 1 again. So I always tell Republicans this: if you guys want to bank on this idea that this is not such a big issue, don't screw around with it, okay? Because when you screw around with it and you pass laws that make Latinos feel like they're being profiled, you're going to take that number 5 issue and it's going to go to the top again. It's going to be a number 1 issue. It's going to be your fault.
Well, the fact of the matter is also that George W. Bush, winning Hispanics was kind of an aberration.
Not with Reagan. Reagan in 1984 got 40% of the Hispanics.
Right, but
Democratic workers were being chased out of precincts saying Reagan forever. I mean, Viva Reagan.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's not like Republicans that ever, really won the Hispanic vote to begin with. And I'm just saying that, I think the problem with the Republicans.
You know what? Hold on. Why that is because they put up mediocre candidates like Bob Dole in '96, Mitt Romney. They come forward, and John McCain. They put forward these mediocre candidates simply on the idea that if you're a Republican, it's your turn now. It's your turn to run.
No, I was going to say, notwithstanding that they ran awful campaigns.
You can't get white people excited to vote for these people. You want Latinos to vote for these people?
No, I am not. I agree with that. And what I was going to say was, and I don't mind that you interrupted. That's fine, or interjected. That's fine. But what I was going to say was, you look at McCain and you look at Romney for the last 2 times around, and they were horrible candidates. And that's one reason they didn't generate and motivate their base. Their base did not come out. If their base had come out. So what I'm saying is, if the base is, and the base is someone you need and you need to count on, if the base is anti-immigration reform, then please the base. You're not going to win Hispanics anyway. You're just not going to win them anyway.
Yeah. That's one way to go, certainly. And there are people out there, I think, who are rooting for that perspective to win out. Harry Reid, Chuck Schumer, Barack Obama. They all hope that Nancy Pelosi, they all hope that's the perspective. They hope the Republicans continue to shoot themselves in the foot and write off the Hispanic vote.
But, Ruben, it's like I said, no matter how much they acquiesce and give, they're going to be portrayed as evil anyway because they're not going to give, like I said, gay partners the pass to come into the country or whatever else.
I got you. But that whole gay partner thing, again, those are the games that the Democrats play. When Patrick Leahy proposed this amendment over the gay partners, this is a guy who never lifted a finger for gay partners before. He put this in there as a poison pill.
Right.
Knowing the So why do Republicans keep falling into the traps the Democrats set for them?
Because
they're stupid. That's why. Because they're stupid. Because they make it so easy. It drives me nuts. That I don't go to bed at night thinking Patrick Leahy, Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid, Chuck Schumer all have my back. Okay, I don't live under that delusion. So I would hate it for these Republicans to keep making their job so easy by taking the bait, constantly taking the bait.
Well, what would you suggest in that regard? What would you suggest they do with that amendment?
Here's what I suggest Republicans do in general, and that is put the Democrats on the defensive for a change. Put them on the defensive. Ask Barack Obama and the Democrats how it is that a president that claims to support immigration reform and unifying families has deported 2 million people, many of whom, wouldn't have been deported the last time around under Bush. People like, battered wives and the like who we used to not deport when they called the cops, and we do now, and we didn't have a quota before and we do now. Put him on the defensive and make him sort of own his rhetoric. Right now he's got an easy free ride because he gets to portray himself as, I don't deport dreamers, when in fact they're doing that. They've lied 6 weeks from Sunday.
But Ruben, with all due respect, I don't think trying to show that Obama is in the minds of the base acting tougher or as tough as the base would want, or almost as tough as the base would want, is a good strategy for the base. I just don't.
But the base is not. The base is only thinking about its narrow little view, just like the Democratic base thinks of its narrow little view. The smart play for Republicans is to drive a wedge between Barack Obama and the Democratic Party on the one hand and Latino voters on the other. Drive a wedge through your opponents. Don't just sit there and unify them. In fact, now you've unified them because you've come off as against immigration reform in any way, shape, or form. I just think it's dumb. Why would you go after an army of 1,000 if you could split them in half?
All right. Listen, Ruben, I really appreciate you coming on. We'll do this again, I hope. Thank you very much.
Sounds good.
Take care. Ruben Navarrete, ladies and gentlemen. And you could check him out at rubennavarrete.com. I'm looking at that site right now. And check him out on CNN.com. He writes a bunch of stuff there, and CNN contributor. Okay. When we come back, we're finally going to get to Bill Maher and what Bill Maher had on his show on Friday. And the one issue where he seems to be unafraid and seems to be on the right track. I'm not going to say I agree with everything he says, but he's got Michael Moore sitting there. He's got Valerie Plame, the not outed CIA agent, in my opinion. And who else was on there? And Al Sharpton. Wait till you hear this. Al Sharpton equating radical Islam with some fictional radical Christians. Okay, so we're going to come back and we're going to let you hear all of that right here on the Steve Malzberg Show on Newsmax TV and radio. Oh, we got another 10? I'm sorry. I can't count. It's my fault. Don't go away. We're coming right back.
The Steve Malzberg Show.
Hi, this is Dick Morris. Obamacare is taking full effect this year with over 15,000 pages of regulations. You need to know how this law affects you. That's why you should get your copy of Obamacare's Survival Guide. It's easy to read and the best guide to the new law. Even if you're currently insured or a senior on Medicare or a business owner, a medical professional, or really any citizen, you need the Obamacare Survival.
A hot new book by Craig Smith argues that the greenback is now at high risk thanks to our spendthrift politicians. Mark Twain said the truth is stranger than fiction. The same is true of the Great Debasement, which began a century ago with the creation of the Federal Reserve and income tax. The result, today's dollar retains just 2 cents of its original buying power. Yes, progressive politicians have engineered the largest wealth confiscation in history, creating in essence a fourth branch of government. Learn what must be done to preserve your money if the dollar crashes. The good news is Swiss America is offering the Great Debasement, a $20 value free of charge for this special radio offer.
800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. Call Swiss America now for a free DVD. 800-818-3967.
Constipation, gas, bloating, most people suffer through. But now there's a simple solution for occasional digestive problems called Bactipro. Developed by holistic medical doctor David Brownstein, Bactipro is the fiber probiotic formula that supports healthy digestive and immune health. And it comes in the form of an easy-to-eat, tasty wafer. Bactipro contains 6 powerful strains of beneficial probiotic bacteria, dietary fiber, and bacteria-nourishing prebiotics, plus powerful antioxidants. Now you can receive a 30-day supply of Bactipro. Just cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit Bactipro.com/special. Act now, and you'll also be given instant access to our downloadable special report, A Doctor's Guide to Probiotics and Your Health. Improve your digestive health now. Learn how you can receive your 30-day supply at Bactipro.com/special. That's BACTIPRO.com/special. Bactipro.com/special.
Have you hit a brick wall with your weight loss? Does your weight management plan need an extra edge for success? If so, listen up. Metabio is the revolutionary weight loss breakthrough designed to help you reach your goal weight as part of your diet and exercise program. Metabio is the premium nutritional supplement power-packed with 5 high-quality ingredients. When used as part of a healthy lifestyle, each component is formulated to help you reach your goals and maintain your optimal weight and wellness. It supports healthy metabolism and promotes fat loss. Now, learn how you can try a 30-day supply of Metabio. Just cover a $4.95 shipping fee. Visit themetabio.com/special. Act now and also receive instant access to our downloadable special report, a practical guide to healthy weight management. Try it now at themetabio.com/special. That's the metabio.com/special. While supplies last. themetabio.com/special.
Hi, this is Mike Reagan. You need to watch out because thousands of new Obamacare rules are currently being implemented, and few know what the law says or does. Listen to what Senator Max Baucus, one of the authors of the Obamacare law, recently said.
I tell you, I just see a huge train wreck coming down, and I don't see any results yet. I just see a huge train wreck.
He's right. So protect yourself from this train wreck. Get the #1 bestseller, the Obamacare Survival Guide. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law. Join more than 500,000 Americans who have their copy. Get the Obamacare Survival Guide at bookstores everywhere, or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by going now to Obamacare911.com. That's Obamacare911.com. That's Obamacare911.com.
I just see a huge train wreck.
He's right. So protect yourself from this train wreck. Get the #1 bestseller, the Obamacare Survival Guide. Newsmax says it's the best guide to the new law. Join more than 500,000 Americans who have their copy.
Get the #1 bestseller, the Obamacare Survival Guide, at bookstores everywhere. Or get our special $4.95 offer and save $15 off the cover price by going now to Obamacare311.com. Obamacare311.com. That's Obamacare311.com.
Get off the sidelines and be a part of the show. Call Steve toll-free at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. I want to go right to Bill Maher and his conversation on the panel with Michael Moore, Al Sharpton, Valerie Plame. Here's cut 16.
I think the point we always try to make is that liberals somehow feel worried that they're going to be called racist if they criticize people of the Muslim faith, which is stupid, first of all, because it's not a race. Muslim.
Of course it's not a race.
It's a religion.
Yes.
And, you know, if I criticize Michael Vick, it's not because he's black, it's because he electrocuted dogs. Yeah. You know,
We need more moderate voices.
We need more, and we need liberal voices to stand up for liberalism. This is the great irony, is that we are standing up for liberal principles, which I am sorry, but a lot of the Muslim world stands against, not just the radicals. There are widely accepted beliefs by a lot of Muslim people that are against our principles, and we shouldn't accept that just because they are a minority or they're brown. It doesn't matter. Pernicious beliefs are pernicious beliefs.
All right. There you go. And now I believe this is where Al Sharpton will rear his ugly head into the conversation. Here's cut. I don't mean that he's ugly. That's an expression. Here's cut 17.
You're right, Bill, I believe. But I think you have to also accept that there are zealots and that there's schizophrenia in every religion.
Not the same.
Yeah, but
not the same degree.
Don't forget.
Really?
You had
Christian.
See, this is such Christian Klansmen that were Christians, KKK members, who burned crosses. Now, what's more schizo than that?
Okay.
Yeah, but now you have Christian dominionists that are just as extreme.
Do they have a whole farm system? Do they have websites? Show me the country that has the Christian fundamentalist training camp where they're on the monkey bars. This is not just the same. Look, I'm no Catholic or a Christian, but one is herpes and one is cancer.
Absolutely. He is so... The nerve, the utter gall of these morons like Sharpton and Plame. The KKK, they burned crosses and they were Christians. Now, I'm not defending the KKK, but they're not doing it today was Mara's point number one. And my question would be also, and Mara kind of made this, they're not doing it today. And yeah, they killed some people, absolutely. And again, horrific. And that's not me who equates George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin and Trayvon Martin's death with Emmett Till. It's not me who perverts what happened to Emmett Till. So don't get on my case. But one is a cancer, and that Christian, where? They used to say the answer used to be, look at Timothy McVeigh. Even if Timothy McVeigh blew up the building in the name of Jesus Christ, which he did not. He was agnostic, but even if he did, he's one person. Look all over the Middle East. Look all over Europe. So Mara's right on. Sharpton, please. Disgusting. Here's Michael Moore now. Cut 18.
I can guarantee you that right now there are Christians out there tonight that want to kill you and me.
Yeah.
But they don't. But they don't.
There you go. Duh. First of all, I don't know what the heck he's talking about. Christians out there that want to kill you and me. But they don't. They don't, Bill Maher factually replies. And Michael Moore doesn't get that. They don't want to get that. Of course they could see it. Of course they know that radical Christianity, I don't even know what that is not the same as radical Islam. Of course not. And they say all religions. Yeah, so the radical Jews are out there too. Who are any of them killing? It's a joke. It's pathetic. It's obscene to equate radical Islam with the Jewish religion or the Christianity. Today, 2013. And here's cut number 19.
We had to have special extra security here. We don't have to have special security here when there's a Christian who's pissed off. I mean, remember in the 90s when Rudy Giuliani was mayor and they had that Piss Christ art exhibit in Brooklyn, and Rudy Giuliani, he was pissed. Christ, was he pissed. But it didn't jump to, and we're going to kill you. You see,
I think you're making the argument that
is
Islam
that religion or is that something else?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of that is the culture. A lot of that is where you are. I don't think that's you have all kinds of Muslims that have denounced some of the terrorism. I don't think that is Islam. I think that is the distorted use of some, just like they are in any other religion.
Just like they are in any other religion. Hey, Al, you got screws loose? What the heck is wrong with you? And this is supposedly a man of God. A man of God. Yeah, just like any other religion. Where? Where are the Jews blowing people up? Where? Where are the Christians blowing people up? I want to see it. Al, Valerie, Michael, and Bill Maher, to his credit. Here's cut 20.
Since 1980, this country, the policies of this country have been run by the Christian right. They took over and they turned this country into the dark ages, and we are so far behind now with science, education, healthcare, everything.
If 40 or 50% of Catholics thought if you left the Catholic religion, you should be killed, you'd be okay with that?
No.
Oh, you wouldn't be okay with that. You know, this is just a... Hey, I very rarely say this. Bravo to Bill Maher. See you tomorrow. Steve Malzberg Show, Newsmax TV and Radio.